Howdy, folks. Welcome to the Picklebear podcast. We are short one mic today because someone forgot to bring a microphone.
Don't look at me. Look at him.
So now,
listen, I wasn't even home.
Yeah, but it's not my fault. So
now Hunter and River are going to be sharing a microphone.
So we're sharing a mic, so
Listen,
you can't hear him unless I let you hear him.
You have to have like a powerful intro, like, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Picklebear podcast. Today we will be talking about many wacky, wonderful things.
it's too aggressive.
Today we're going to be posting the N-word on Twitter because Elon Musk bought it.
Yeah, but he's not like that. Like, okay, wait. Did you guys hear about all the stuff going on there though? Like the people
Breakdowns. It's awful. It's like
What do you mean? What do you mean, people?
dude. So what? So there's like, okay, so like Katy Perry, right? She lost like thousands upon thousands of followers. Like yesterday. It wasn't right after the news broke out that Elon's purchase was successful. It was like a day after, and it all happened at once. Like thousands and thousands of people just disappeared, and then on the same time, while like people like Ilhan Omar, Hillary Clinton, all these real far left personalities, they were all losing. People like Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool,
Ben Shapiro gained like 200,000.
Ben Shapiro. They're gaining like ridiculous amounts of followers. So it's like, okay, what's happening here? You know what I mean? So like, what's going on with this? That this is all happening? Is it an algorithm change, or what a lot of people are saying is they were shadow banned? Some of the people, and then other people say that like they were just then able to go ahead and get back on their account after 4 years, pretty much, of being
But
banned.
the shadow banning wouldn't account for the people coming back, or leaving the leftist accounts.
That's the problem. What they're thinking is that the people that are leaving, they're actually bots, and
Yeah.
Twitter's trying to cover up its tracks. Because the way I'm looking at it, so if you set like you can have like all these people have all these followers, and then you can, if when they say something, it means more to some people. Because a lot of stuff to some people there's more of a popularity contest. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, well, this many people agree with Katy Perry. Well, I'm gonna listen.
This
to
person
what
has
she
this
says.
many followers. Their opinion must mean something.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my opinion on it. And they were trying to. There's like this right wing cover up, pretty basically through it. You get what I mean? They're trying to start not let those ideas move.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of bots on Twitter, and I think Elon explicitly said he's going to do something about the bots. Although there are some good bots. Like, I follow a few bots. One just posts random clips, or not even clips, just frames from Lucky Star.
I follow that same one.
Yeah.
I follow that one and then another one
And the
about
Ozymandias
Azumango.
Dio one. I follow those two.
Wait, what's the other one?
Ozymandias Dio. It's the
Yeah, I
same
follow
thing as
that one too. You don't even watch that show.
No, I don't.
Do you remember that when I made that subreddit on like it was like it's supposed to be like a debate thing?
Yeah.
And then like it was up for like a day. I made a post, and then all these bots showed up and they started attacking each other. But it was like one bot was a dictionary bot, then the other bot was specifically designed to make fun of the dictionary bot.
Yeah, I have seen.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope Elon doesn't get rid of those bots. I like those ones.
I'm looking forward to what he does. I think it'll be good.
I think it's still going to take another maybe 6 months.
Well,
It's
yeah.
all
to get
October.
through.
That's when it's finally going.
But I'm like excited.
what he needs to do is when it gets in there, fire everybody. Like that's the problem. Just get rid of every single person.
Not
on
everybody. There's definitely some like low-level people, or even just people that are afraid to voice their
levels.
opinions.
That. Well, I was. It
I
wasn't so
didn't
much
mean it like that.
You know,
I meant like
janitor.
the actual.
I'm not meaning like the janitor
programmers.
staff and people like that. Hey, yo,
Promote all of the janitors.
it's like the janitor has like a They have like the janitors pushing around the broom, and on the handle it has like the "I'm with her" sticker, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Get out."
Are you gonna make a Twitter once this goes through?
I was thinking about it, honestly. Like, I was like, I should do that. But then the thing is, if I made a Twitter now, then that would further like people saying, "Well, there's just a bunch of people getting on Twitter now," trying to.
I think it would still go with the message. Oh, there's people coming on after this came out.
Well, no, I meant it's gonna conflate with the numbers of the people supposedly. All these people supposedly joining the platform.
That could go either
I'm talking
way.
about like the algorithm change.
Yeah,
That's
that could go
obviously
either way though.
Yeah, but I just don't want me to be joining it and then right now. And then that would mess up with the numbers.
Yeah.
And
What if Donald Trump comes back?
He says he's not going to.
I hope he does. He was funny.
I hope he does too, because, really, there was no reason for them to ban him.
I didn't even have a Twitter at that time, but I remember all that stuff being on the news.
Well, it's like you have no rules specifically describing what he does. And it wasn't even on the platform. That would be like me doing something in the U.S. and then, Brazil's like, you're not allowed in this
No,
country.
we can't have this guy. Nope.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, you don't even have a law talking about what I did. You know what I mean? So it's like, that doesn't make any
Don't
sense.
let into Brazil.
If you come to Brazil, it's like we're immediately just like,
People in Brazil are usually the opposite way. They're usually saying, "Come to Brazil."
come to Brazil. So why is it Brazil and all those memes though?
I don't know. It's like a very large country in like a continent that people forget about.
Brazil's not a. You mean South America as a whole, or
A continent. I mean, people forget about the continent.
yeah? But
in
you just
general.
described Brazil as a continent.
I said that's a country.
Yeah,
Did I say continent?
You said Brazil is a continent that many
I said
people
Brazil
forget
is a,
about.
no,
People
I said
forget about it a
Brazil is
lot.
on a continent. that
That's
many
why.
people
That's
forget.
why all the Nazis went to where was it?
Argentina.
Argentina, because they just forget about him. Then boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if we talk about my day?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. So where should I begin? Like the very beginning of it?
Well, yeah, that's usually how you tell a story.
Okay. So I wake up and I'm like, it's like for some reason, because of our wacky weather, it's like 30 degrees, even though yesterday was in the 70s, right? So I'm like, it's cold. But I got to get this weed eating done. So I grab the weed eater, fill it up. I didn't even drink my coffee. I just went straight at it, and I weed eated for 2 hours straight on one tank. I filled up the gas, and I was on the last stretch, and then I ran out. But luckily, I had just enough juice to finish it. So I finished everything I needed to do on one tank, and then I ran out right at the end. It was very satisfying.
We should have a dad job segment.
That's a very.
So the other
riveting
day I
tale.
was mowing.
But that's
Get
only half
this.
of my day. That's only the beginning of my day.
If that's half of it,
No, it's not half of it. It's only the beginning. So after that, I had to go help my dad with his boat, and that was a pain. Because have you guys ever worked on a pontoon boat?
no, we can't afford a pontoon boat.
I was working on it.
Don't.
I was working on the boat
I don't
yesterday.
plan on it.
I was drilling rivets out but I had to look
fix the
straight up
rivets.
into the rivets, and I'm drilling them out, and it's so tight. It's like it makes you claustrophobic. It feels like
Wait,
you're
were
in
you
a
in
vent.
between the pontoons
Yes.
on a stool?
No, I was just
Oh, I had
standing
a
up in
stool.
between. Okay, you lucky. I was just standing there looking up, drilling out rivets, and then it's so tight that there's no way to move, so they don't fall into your eyes, like metal shards just into your eyeballs.
See, I didn't. I had to put screws up in it to hold the sheets up. After we went and fed the wire the rest of the way through, it's all hooked up now. Don't worry, the fish finder should work. But anyways, after that, I went home, took my shower, got dressed because my girlfriend wanted to see me. So I jumped in the
Can't
truck
relate to that.
and I drove her. What?
I said I can't relate to that.
Imagine having
This
a
part you
girlfriend.
will.
Okay.
So on
Babe,
the way
I'm all wet.
on the way up
I'm
to
all
her,
wet in the shower.
I'm
right
like,
now.
I'm gonna stop in this scrap yard because I have time. And
Girl,
I called-
freaking wait.
I've never been to
Oh
a
shit!
scrapyard.
Oh shit! The scrapyard. Hey babe, I'll be back soon.
So I've never really been to an auto salvage yard, but it was my first time. And I pulled in, and I'm like the road to it's and it's damn, I might need to grab some new suspension from this place because the road was just atrocious getting up there. But I finally get up to the top, and there's these signs, and it kept it was these signs just pointing up the road, and I kept going, and I'm like, oh my god, how far up does this place go? And then there's this like office building, and it's like, oh, well, that's the office of the salvage yard. So I parked in there, and there was a sign that says, office moved, go uphill further. So I backed up and kept driving up the hill. And finally I get there, and like, there's all this equipment going on, and like all these, like everything was real loud. Like there's all these people walking around, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. So like I park my truck, go in, and then like there's this guy at the desk, and he's just completely passed out, snoring like real loud. And I'm like he's obviously just working there, like he isn't the owner, but he's just passed out there at the desk. Then this lady's on her phone. Then finally she like looks up and she goes, "Oh, hello, sir. Please sign in over there." And I'm like, What? She goes, "Sign in on the clipboard." So I was like, okay. So I walked over to the clipboard, and like I didn't know this, but you have to sign into a salvage yard. So you put your name, and you sign it, and then you put like the date and what time it was. And I was like, okay. And then I'm like, so I'm looking for like Camaro and Firebird parts. I'm like, where can I go? She's like, walk out the door and walk that way. And walk that way. And I'm like, okay. That's it. And she goes, just go that way. Like she didn't tell me to talk to somebody. She just said, go that way. And I was like, okay. And I like step out, and like there's these like all these hills, like it's like open. There's no trees around, so it's just these like all these massive hills full of cars. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know where to go, because it's like this is like probably like a 10 square mile scrapyard. Like this place is massive, and there's just these tracos moving everything. Well, and this guy shows up on a skid steer hauling this engine around, and he's like, he jumps out and walks. I think he was peeing in the corner, to be honest. But then like he comes over, and I'm like, hey, dude, where are the Camaros at? And he goes, oh, go down that road and you'll find them. And I'm like, I like look around, like there's this like massive pile of engines sitting with this Traco like scooping them up and just dropping them. And I'm like, I don't know what that thing's doing, but I'm not getting close to it. So like, I'm like, okay, can I drive there or walk? And he's like, you better walk. So I'm like, okay. So like, he's like, I'm like, so just that road. And he goes, yeah, just walk out that road. So like I start walking out the road, and like I'm looking around, and I'm like, dang, this is really sad, because like you're walking around, like there's all these like you know, people's like bumper stickers and stuff on these cars. And it's like some of them were personalized, and like I'm like, dang, like that was somebody's like dream car. Some of these things, because like there's like, I mean, I feel bad if your like dream car's like an '04 Mustang, but like you're walking, and I'm like,
Dang, this one guy had swastikas all over his Camaro.
yeah, but actually, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So like I'm walking down there, and then finally I see a T-top, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the space. It's like I walk, and like these things are the most abused vehicles in the world. And my entire purpose of being there was to look at seats. I go there, and do you think one of them had a seat in them?
Not nice ones.
No, dude, there was one seat. Out of River, there was like 16 cars, and there was one seat. I guess so, but I was like, my God, and like the seat was just, oh my God, it was covered in mold.
Yeah, that's what a scrapyard is, Brooke.
I know, but like I figured
Why did they leave this outside?
No, but like they didn't. I get
They
that
left the T-tops on.
they did. Some of them only had one T-top, and it was just sitting in the bottom of the car, and I'm like, okay. But like I was walking, and I'm like, you know, I felt like I'm like, I didn't bring tools. I need this hatch. Like they had like a motorized hatch, and I'm like, I would love to have that, but like I can't because I don't have tools. But like then I'm like, I don't know what to do. I came here looking for seats, and there's no seats, so I just turned around, walked back, signed out, and they're like, have a good day, sir. And I'm like, okay, and like left. But I was like, you know, you'd think like if you had a scrapyard, you'd be like, what do you need, sir? Here, let me show you. And like
You
have
just
like
said it yourself. It's a very large area. They
that's
don't
what
have
I
that
was
many
thinking.
people there. I don't think they know what's
dude,
there.
no, there's like 50 people working there. Like there could easily have been somebody like
At least they had like a section for T-top and Camaro stuff.
they did, but it was like it wasn't so much a section. It was just thrown there.
Oh yeah.
But like if I ran it, like I'd have like an employee there, and I'd be like, hey, sir, how are you doing? Please, I will walk you to the space you need, and I will help you like tear out whatever you need. You know what I mean? But like they had like on the board, it was like $13 per pound. So they were charging per pound of what you took from the
So
cars.
take a bunch of helium balloons with you whenever you go.
Just float them.
Yeah.
I think they could see the balloons.
No,
though.
float them out of the top, come back. Oh, they didn't have what I was looking for.
Float the car out.
Why? The woman watches you walk out, and all of a sudden this engine with balloons on it falls into your hand. Was the guy still sleeping when you left?
No, he was awake.
Oh.
He was eating lunch.
You said you could get the swastika.
Oh yeah, well I was down there, and then there was an IROC Z sitting there. 80s. It was completely dark gray. It had like red, and then it had these black symbols on it that were scratched out. And I'm like, it's either Chinese lettering. Those are swastikas all over that car. That's all. And
You
then I
don't
went.
know?
What?
You don't know?
No, I don't know what it was because it was
Oh.
like black paint over it, so you couldn't tell what it was.
Did it look like a good fixer upper?
No, there's one there that I was like, if you like grabbed it and took it right away, you could be able to salvage it. But like a lot of them were just like, just pitched there. Anyways, what do I do next?
Yeah, we're only like 1/4 in.
No, this is about halfway.
Is the second half as riveting as the first?
Kind of. So I go down the road, and there's this place that says Performance Auto. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go in here. I'll see what I can do to get my car a little bit zoomier, Get it moving better. Get it rolling. Get it rumbling, So I go in there, and I'm like, what do you have for a 305 Chevy engine? And they're like, what? And I'm like, I'm looking to upgrade my engine. What do you have that I could just slap on there and make it better? And he's like, well, we have air filters. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's put a performance air filter on it. That's fine. Our intake, get some goodness here. So we walk over, and he's like, we don't have any. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, we can order you one in, but it could take a couple weeks. And I'm like, no, that's fine. I'm not up this way often. So I'm like, I'm going to just go now. So we left. But like, he was like, I have one of those, by the way. And I'm like, one of what? And he goes, that filter. I have it on my IROC Z. And I'm like, okay. That's pretty cool. I'm going to head out then, okay? So like I'm driving still to my girlfriend's.
Oh, we haven't even made it yet.
Yeah, we haven't even made it yet, and this is the second
You've
stop.
made 2 stops.
So I'm like, okay, stop number 3. While I'm calling these different places, so then like I called this other scrapyard. I'm like, hey, do you have any seats? And he goes, yeah, it's covered in mold, and you'd have to put new reupholstery on it, but I'd sell it to you. And I'm like, what do you want for it? And he goes, you'd have to be here for me to sell it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So like I'm like, okay, I'll stop sometime. And I'm like, so he's like, okay. And then like I finally get there, and I'm there in the Oasis, and it's O'Reilly's Auto Parts,
Okay.
O'Reilly's, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So I went in, and I'm like, listen, I'd like to upgrade my 305. What do you have? And he goes, I'm a delivery dude, man. I'm just learning to run this computer. I really don't know. And I'm like, well, okay, do you have any air cleaners, like air filters? And he goes, let me check. So he goes on his computer, and like he's on there for like 30 minutes. He doesn't give me a clear answer if they have them in or not. And I'm like, okay, it's fine, dude. I'm just gonna like look around and then leave. I'm walking, and then I look over, and there's the exact air filters that I wanted on the shelf. And I'm like, I'm just leaving. I didn't even stop. I just walked out. So then like I drive, and like my girlfriend passes me in her car, but she doesn't notice my truck. So I'm like, so I turn around and I start driving towards her, back to her, and then like I'm like, oh wait, there's a Napa. So I pulled in.
There's a Napa.
So I pulled in the Napa.
Number 4.
And I'm like, hey man, I'm looking for a nice air filter. I'm like, and everybody kept
You're
recommending.
still
this
looking
brand.
for the air filter, but
Yeah.
you found it at the last place.
I didn't want to buy it because like it was like expensive there. It was like I knew it was too much money for it.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, do you guys have this? And he goes, the nearest one is in Arkansas. And I'm like,
Why does he even know
I'm
that?
like, you're kidding. And he looked it up on the computer. He's like, we
Oh.
don't have it here. It's in Arkansas. And he's like, it'll take about a week for it to get here. And I'm like, listen, I'm not here often. Just it's fine. He goes, but wait a minute. That one, that specific one, like he goes, do you drive it when it's dusty out? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that thing's gonna clog immediately. I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, it's covered in oil. Like the dust will like stick to it. He goes, you have to clean that thing like weekly. And I'm like, well, I don't want that one then. And he goes, well, I have these paper ones. Just buy that. And he's like, okay, how much? And like the other one was like $60. This one was $5. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll buy this paper one. He goes, yeah, just switch it out like every 6 months or so. And he goes, you'll be fine. So I buy it there. And then like I was like, by the way, you got anything to clean wheels? He took me and gave me a 30-minute presentation on how to properly clean a car. Because he used to detail cars professionally. And like this dude like went on like this 30-minute speech with me in the corner of the Napa about how Mother's Wax does the best job.
A lot of stuff happens in the corner of a Napa.
He went and he's like hold out your hand. And I'm like, okay. So like he like takes this bottle of Meguiar's like scratch cleaner and he squirts some onto my finger and he goes, rub that in between your finger and your thumb. And I'm like, okay. Like I'm rubbing it. And he goes, you feel that? And I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, you feel that? It's like gritty. I'm like, this stuff feels like wax. It just feels like regular car wax. I don't know. I didn't say that to him because I didn't, like, I was like, yeah, I see what you mean. And he goes, you put some of that on your wheels and then take this Meguiar's wax and wax them and it'll be perfect. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, but listen, don't buy it here. I'm not telling you this, but go to Walmart for this, like the wax. And he's like, you'll get it cheaper. And he goes, don't go to the dollar store and buy these, go to the dollar store and buy these like microfiber cloths. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, he repeats the whole thing again to me. And then I buy the air filter and then I leave. So then I'm driving and I'm like, I haven't eaten anything all day. I'm hungry.
Oh my God.
So I pull in. So I finally get up to my girlfriend's. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I'm hungry. We're going for food
Now.
now.
Was she waiting for you the whole time?
Maybe like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because she had pulled in. But yeah, she was waiting the whole time.
That's what I thought. Like she expected you to be there in like 10 minutes, and then like 5 hours later you show up. It was like, oh, I went to like
I walked
4
a
different scrap yards.
I walked a
talked to the
10-mile
guy.
scrap yard.
No, but
Check out this paper air filter.
so I pulled into the I pulled into her college, right? And I'm like, here we are. It's all good. And like I'm trying to like park and it's like a one-way loop is the best way to describe it. So I'm like driving and then there's this car with these women in it and they're just sitting there in the middle of the road and you can't get around them. And they're just sitting there and the one gets out and is like talking to the driver and just like she stands there in the middle of the road and talks for like 8 minutes. And there's cars behind me, mind you. And I'm like, so I like pull out my phone and I like text her. I'm like, hey, I'm here, but I can't move. I'm on a one-way section and there's a car sitting right there and they're just talking. She's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, there's 2 girls just talking there. So like, so finally she's like, I think you can squeeze through there. So I drive, like I squeeze through because like I just had enough room in my truck to get around them. And then they like look at me real funny and then they drive off and I'm like, dude, you could have done that like 10 minutes ago and I'd have been parked, but they didn't. But I'm like, okay. So like, I'm like, okay, where can we go? And she's like, well, there's like this one pizza place in town we can go to because she's gluten-free. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll go there. So we go there and I'm like, no, I was actually happy. I was like, yeah, I'm getting food. I'm happy. So we go there and like, it's like, I'm like, I think I've been here before. I walk in. I'm like, I've never been here before. It's like they have bottles of ranch with like the restaurant's logo on them and nothing else. Like it doesn't specify it's ranch. It just has the name of the restaurant on it and the logo. And it's like this milk cart, like milk. It's like, you know, like the glass milk bottles.
Yeah.
It's that full of ranch.
Ew.
That
They like clean them out and fill them.
no,
with
but they were like
ranch.
$5 a piece.
Oh, they're selling them.
Yeah, they were selling them.
Oh,
Yeah.
So was it
Or-
like homemade ranch?
ranch
Just like
milk
glass bottled
bottles.
ranch. Yeah, I guess it was really good ranch. I didn't get any though because it was like $5 a bottle. But I'm like, okay, let's get this. Like, I'm like, okay, let's get. I'm like, okay, we can get like a gluten-free pizza and split it. And I'm like, right there it says gluten-free and cauliflower crust, and I'm like, okay, which one do you want? And she goes, they only have gluten-free. I'm like, well, no, it says gluten-free or cauliflower right there on the sign. I mean, it has both. And she goes, no, they just have gluten-free. And I'm like, okay. And it says, like, we get up there, and I'm like, hey, let's have. And she's like, I'm like, what kind of pizza do you want? And she goes, I'm thinking like the chicken bacon ranch. And I'm like, I'm like, you want to try the barbecue one instead? Like, you know, that way we're like splitting. You know, we're doing our thing. And she's like, yeah, we can do that. She gets up there and she orders she's like, I'd like a buffalo chicken pizza. And I'm like, that's not what we agreed on. Wait a second. And like the guy at the register like looks at me real funny, and I'm like, I said barbecue, and she goes, oh, I didn't hear you. Okay, that's fine. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then like he looks at us both like eyes wide, and he's like, so that'll be barbecue? And I'm like, yeah, that'll be barbecue.
I can see that. I can visualize.
So like, I know I'm good at describing this. So we get the pizza, go back to her dorm, and I eat half of the pizza. So then I'm like, okay, listen, I got a podcast to do. So I jump in my
Sorry,
truck.
babe, I gotta leave.
Sorry, got a podcast. So I jump in my truck and I'm driving back. And then like I'm about halfway, and like this is like there's like this giant stretch of land that's like nothing.
You make it sound like we're in freaking Arizona.
No, it's the area from. So there's like like the the Turkey Hill.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you get to that point, there's like nothing after that for like a long time.
It's like Mad
Sure.
Max. There's just
So I'm
Turkey
there-
Hill, and
I'm
then there's
there.
nothing.
It's like World
You
War
just
I
driving
France.
through the
Yes, but it hits me. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. That
This again.
that barbecue chicken didn't settle right. So I jumped out, ran in, used the bathroom.
You didn't shit on a tree, did you?
No, I used the bathroom.
Okay,
in
like a normal person. All right.
You talk about using the bathroom every podcast.
I don't use it. I don't talk about that every podcast. Yeah.
We
But I'm not like
actually
describing it. I'm
This
just
was a
mentioning it.
half-hour build-up
Listen.
to another bathroom story. Bro.
we have talked about poop and feces at least 3 different times, 3 different podcasts. So how many podcasts have we done? Like 10, maybe
This is like 8th, I think.
8. So 3 out of 8 podcasts will include the fecal matter, which like that's a pretty high % chance.
Yeah, but like.
So maybe we should go on the down low for a while.
Yeah, but listen,
It
I'm
is
not
currently 4.
bringing up the story just to describe this part.
Yeah, it's
This is just a mention.
That's a big part of life, Hunter. Okay.
When you use the bathroom
No one talks about shit.
in a restaurant and you're or like a gas station, you go in there just to use their bathroom. You're like, I can't go in there, use their plumbing, risk destroying the whole thing, and then not buy anything and just leave. So you have to buy something when you go to the bathroom. And so I walked over to like their tea wall.
Titty wall?
No, their tea wall, like drinks and stuff. And I'm like,
shit in the drink fountain.
Arizona tea. Let's find you. So then I find it.
Keep going. I was taking a note for a story I have.
$1.29 for Arizona tea.
Joe Biden's America.
Joe Biden's America.
Is that what that was building up to?
I bought the green tea and then I drove here. That's the
that
story.
That was a half hour.
There was also this giant truck, I'm talking like an F-350, like a brand new one. These 2 blonde women in it. They were like a foot off of my bumper the whole time I was driving. And I thought they were gonna kill me. But that's all.
That sounds kinky.
No, it was very
He
frightening.
like wrenched it out of his hand just
to say that. I know there is I saw a news report, not around here, there's a bomb threat in a Home Depot because a guy was in the bathroom and he said, I'm going to drop a bomb in here. And and everyone laughed. But this one guy was like, no, I'm not having it. and they evacuated the Home Depot to find, and when they started investigating people, they're like, yeah, he was just taking a massive shit in the toilet. There's something with massive shits in Home Depot that, like, they're linked, because I walked into Home Depot once, and 3 out of the 4 stalls had a massive dump in them.
So
display toilets.
like unflushable.
So my dad has this thing where every time we go into Lowe's, he has to use their bathroom. I don't know why. It's only Lowe's.
What if there's something in the air that makes you have to go number 2, so when you're on the toilet, you think about the things you can buy in the store?
Yeah,
It's like-
you use bathroom plumbing, you feel like you gotta buy something.
That's like a market strategy. That'd be me. I'd put poop chemicals in the air, so it makes you want to poop
Yeah, but
when
like,
you go
it's
in the...
Yeah, but this is the problem with our generation. Like, my family walks in, and they're like, oh, look at these pretty bar lights, like the egg-shaped ones that, like, hang from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, those are pretty. I go over straight to the retro, like, disco ball hanging up, and I'm like, oh, boy, that would be cool for my bedroom.
Next to
You
your
want one now.
Lego Yoda alarm clock.
Yes.
What you reminded me of is even beyond going to the restroom in a store. Anytime if I walk into a store, I'm going to buy something. That's my code. So this one time I was on a date with a girl, and we were going to we went to a bookstore, and then eventually, because I was looking for a monitor, and Best Buy didn't have the gaming monitor I was looking for, the gaming monitor I have
Wait,
now.
did you buy anything at Best Buy then?
I bought like 2 records
At Best Buy?
at Best Buy. Yeah, they have a record section.
I didn't know.
Anyways, we go to Walmart in a last-ditch attempt to look for a gaming monitor. Don't find anything, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna look for a steering wheel cover for my car." She picks one out, and then as we're walking down
Wait, is it like
as
the
we're
mega
walking out of the
pink one?
aisle, she says, "Oh, I don't want this anymore." She puts it back, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not walking out of here empty-handed." So I grab, because we're in the car section, I grab a gas can, a little 1-gallon gas can, which is right over there. And she was like, "You're really doing this? You're really going to buy a gas can that you don't need because you don't want to walk out of here empty-handed?" I said, "Yes, it's a matter of principle."
See,
That's
I
all.
like all the time at like when I'm like walking out of like a Walmart or some kind of store, I'm like when you don't buy anything, like you don't find what you need or you went in just to look at something, the most awkward thing is just walking out because I'm always scared like some employee is gonna like run over, tackle me, and frisk me
Yeah.
right there, be like, "What'd you take? What'd you take? Spit it
probably
out.
look
Spit
more
it out of your
time
mouth."
for your testicular exam.
I probably looked
tag
more
on
suspicious
steroids.
with just a little gas can
Huh.
than just walking out with nothing. What's he planning to do?
Well, it's only 1 gallon.
If
I
you
mean,
would-
what can
So
you do?
exactly, no one buys a 1-gallon gas can.
It's like you can't. Yeah, but like even if you were making like mixed gas, like you'd only be able to use like half of the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're using mixed gas, you'd get like a 2.5.
Yeah, you could always get 2.5 because that's how much the 2-stroke oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I could...
Gas can wise, what are those ones I bought it for my 3-wheeler River? The 90 ethanol I use it for. It's like the no spill. The really good one I have. That nozzle that you press the back button. For God's sakes, River, it's the
You
it's
expect me to know about
it's
gas
the good
cans?
gas can
The
we
good
have.
gas
Yeah,
can.
we have
It's a
like
gas can.
5 of them.
It's a gas can.
2 of them
That's
are
all
the
I
easy
know.
ones.
It's not an Obama can. It's a gas can.
Okay, well,
There you
anyways,
go.
you press the button and you pour it, and it's really good because it won't spill. But then we have these other ones that my dad calls Obama cans because they don't work,
Okay.
and it takes so much. There's one that you have to pump the gas out of because they didn't think it was smart to put like an air relief in. Normally like there's a little
Yeah.
hole in the back so it can move. This one, no, you lift it up.
They were
let
afraid it was
pour,
gonna
and then
leak.
you let it go back down. Then you lift it up again.
They were afraid it was gonna leak gas everywhere.
I'd rather have a
pollution.
leaky gas can than a non-pouring gas can.
I mean, your gas is secure that way.
I don't.
It's not coming out.
Did you ever see the video? Okay.
Speaking.
So you remember when like everybody was. You remember when like everybody was freaking out in North Carolina because of the gas crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were down there at the time. So like.
I was with you.
Oh yeah. Do you remember those people?
I wasn't.
They were like from West Virginia, in that car ahead of us, like putting gas cans in like the back of like their
Yeah.
SUV. It's like you see that and you're like, okay, well listen, if you're in any
There was-
accident, you're blowing up.
There was obese women like putting 5-gallon gas cans on top of their children in the backseat,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, they're like, here, hold this.
yeah, hold this. Just breathing that in while we drive home.
Yeah, but then there was the videos. I didn't actually see any of this, but like the one guy put like a tarp in the bed of his truck.
I did see
Filled
that.
the
I saw
entire-
one
I
guy.
saw the videos of people filling up like plastic tote bins.
I saw like
Yeah, not
plastic
realizing
trash
it was
can
milk.
bags, like these flimsy school issued like trash bags that break at like the slightest and like rip,
Remember,
filling it all the way
double
up
bagging.
and tying it off.
Double bag your gasoline.
Okay, so that's the story of my day
Quickly drink it all before.
and the gas crisis.
That was
of-
pretty
Can't waste the
anticlimactic.
gas, you gotta drink it.
What? What did you expect to happen?
I was expecting there to be some like I don't know Aesop's fable moral lesson.
No,
but
the moral lesson.
You just bought a tea at Turkey Hill. That's all it amounted to.
The moral of the story is
Podcast before women. I don't know.
no.
That's the
It's
moral
always
of the
tell
story.
you. It's always clarify. Grab the extra microphone to your
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, you should have, dumbass.
He's putting his mouth on the microphone I'm using.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
All right. The big thing that I said I'd talk
We're
about
using-
Doomerfest
Doomerfest.
this past weekend. I still have the old posters up. I'm actually wearing a T-shirt underneath this. I can't. I don't
they
think I
sell
should say the name of
t-shirts?
that.
I was
brand.
about to ask,
Yeah, they
what
sold
was there like a concession stand? Because I did see a line or something in the background.
Is there a taco?
I think there were like water bottles and teas out for people.
No, when
But, like-
Connor was talking to Lolly Feet 1488,
Yeah.
it looked like he was in a line.
There were T-shirts and cassettes up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
it
was it
was-
like live performance cassettes?
Yeah, it was like punk music.
Oh, okay.
Except for Egg White, who's a rapper, which I really didn't expect to like his set, but it was incredible. It was quite an experience. You had to be there.
Yeah.
You really had to be there seeing this beast of a man go up on stage with a big Sneed sign across the front of the stage.
Okay. So is
We
there,
talked about
you-
sneak
what-
film
the real
class the other
question,
day.
Is there going to be another one?
No. The organizer, Raven, said that'll be her last one for the foreseeable future. And there's a bunch of drama going on, which I don't want to get in. I don't want to talk about the drama too much. I'll just talk about what I saw actually there.
Okay.
So,
Let's go ahead.
Bryn, Mesh, Mike, I don't know.
Point to
I think
it
her
on the
last name's
poster.
Michaels. It's the bottom one, below Neat.
Uh,
Also, Neat and Fried by
Brian
Fluoride, Bryn.
Mish.
Fried by Fluoride and Neat just didn't show up, which, I mean, the
That's a
guy
pretty
named
good
Neat, I
poster.
wouldn't expect him to show up. But anyways, Bryn, towards the end of her set, she had Jezebel, Cyborg, and Aiden Zero come up on stage to play the last few songs with her. And at the end of the last song, Aiden, which they had discussed this prior apparently, that it would be a cool, funny stunt if he would run across the stage and punch her.
Yeah, that is
Um,
pretty funny.
I do
Yeah,
remember
it's pretty
watching. I
funny.
watched
Hitting
a little
women
bit of
is
the live
funny.
stream highlights. They were funny.
So, yeah, those are loaded magazines.
Yeah, I'm
anyways.
wearing a plate carrier.
So
Let's get some ASMR.
apparently what happened was Bryn did not expect it at that moment in time. And she was like turning to face him, and the way she was turning as he was punching, so of course, you're turning your head, that adds to the impact of the punch. And it like knocked one of her teeth out.
It knocked
and it
your
went
tooth
through
out?
her from that's what I hear.
You
but
should have
knocked it-
ran up and took it
knocked-
right away.
Make it into a necklace.
And then, so he punches her immediately. He can feel that he knocked his bass amp over whenever he like ran across the stage. So he immediately turns around and sprints back across the stage to deal with that, not realizing how much damage he did to this woman.
Oh shit, my amp okay?
I thought, I mean, I was talking to someone whenever that happened, so I wasn't fully paying attention, but I was like, oh, that seems like something that they would do as like a funny stunt. Because like no one really reacted.
It's like, yeah, that man just hit a woman.
Yeah.
I watched a live stream. This guy just jumps in the water, and everyone's turned around like,
Yeah, that's
what,
the same
what
guy.
the hell did this dude
He,
just
during his set later, he ran off stage, jumped in the stream, and then he came out and tackled some guy in the crowd who was standing next to me.
He was
That
right
could've been me.
behind you.
Who's the shoeless guy with the dog?
I don't know his
And
name.
what about the orange convict?
The orange convict? I don't know. From what I understand, he was like taking pictures.
Oh. Okay, so it wasn't an
I
actual
think it was.
convict.
No, he wasn't an actual convict. There were a lot of people there in like costumes, so that's probably what it was.
The costumes were funny, especially
yeah,
that
there was
one
a guy
guy's
with a
jacket.
driver jacket. There was a
I
lot
saw
of,
I saw an American Psycho shirt,
Yeah.
which I'm not surprised to see.
There was Lolly Feet had a Travis Bickle M65. He put it on later.
Who's that?
Lolly Feet is the 6'6".
No, I meant the Travis Bickle.
Travis Bickle. He's the guy from Taxi Driver.
Oh, okay.
You remember the one failed assassination attempt on like some?
Ronald Reagan.
I don't think it may have been Reagan. I don't think it was. But the guy dressed exactly like Travis Bickle, shaved his head into a mohawk and everything.
Because he wanted to impress a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
I know
Lolly,
that part, I
Lolly
just-
Feet was wearing.
I
that
didn't know
guy's
how old she
jacket.
was.
During the time of the movie, she was 12 years old.
Oh,
Jodie Foster. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I never thought of that.
Anyways, Lolly Feet. He's 6'6", incredibly jacked man. I was a little bit intimidated at first because like we got there a bit earlier and we were waiting for someone else to show up, so we're just kind of hanging out near the parking area, sort of halfway between that and the pavilion. He walks up and he's like, "Hey, I'm Lolly Feet," and he shakes my hand. He was like, He says, "I'm doing security." I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
What was he like? Because I've
He's a
been on
very
his
nice
Twitter
guy.
page like one time.
He's a very nice guy.
How big was he?
I said 6'6".
That's
Oh,
pretty
Absolutely
big.
massive.
That's like
Muscular? Or
Yes.
like what are we talking?
Yes.
Like bulk? Like every day's.
like he'd make me
Gym
look
day.
small?
Yes, absolutely.
It wouldn't take much.
I'll have to show you pictures of him. And then later he had like Joker face paint on.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
Wait, like Joaquin Phoenix or
Yeah.
Heath Ledger?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the best one. That's the best face paint.
I don't know. I like Heath Ledger's.
I like
I
him.
think it's
both.
What's
It's
that
great.
one where he has like grills and his hair's short and covered? I
That's,
hate
We
uh,
that
don't talk
one.
Jared
about that
Leto.
one.
I hate that one so much.
He's like. It doesn't
Why
even
so
like, it's
serious,
like-
mine?
Okay, but like, what's his name? I like when it comes to like Joker's, the original Joker, who was no, I mean movie wise, he was
Jack
against
Nicholson?
Michael Keaton. Yeah, Jack Nicholson. He was one of my favorites.
That one looks cool.
He
That's
was,
Heath Ledger there.
That's the Heath Ledger Joker. Did you?
I don't know my Jokers.
You didn't watch the like the 2000s Batman's?
I barely watch any superhero movie. Well, heck, I just watched The Joker in 2019, and that was probably it. Well, I watched The Batman. I watched that.
Oh, dude, did you watch the Batman?
Yeah,
Did you watch the Batman?
No.
You have to watch the Batman. It's actually
it was kind of long. I got a little. My back started hurting in those cheap theater seats, but it was good.
Dude, I was watching. I'm like, okay, when's this thing gonna end? Like,
I know.
It was like
Chase-
a 2.5 hour long
I asked
movie.
Chase. I was like, "Oh, yo, how long is this?" He's like, 3.5 hours. And I was like,
Dude, is
wait. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, no, I'm just kidding. Let me look it up online. It's like 3 hours and 17 minutes. He's like, well,
Dude, I was gonna say it was like, cause I was there with my girlfriend in the theater, and I'm like we're like it was about like 3 hours in. And I'm like, look at her. I'm like, how long have we been here? And she's like, well, what time is it? And I looked at my watch, and it was like 10:30, and like the movie started like 7, and I'm like, we've been here 3.5 hours. She's like, oh my god. Yeah.
Brooke.
And like
I'm Batman.
meanwhile, the entire time I couldn't enjoy the movie because I was like, I sure hope my car didn't roll down the hill because the parking brake doesn't work on it. If it goes out of gear, it's gone.
I like the Nirvana song they use for the Something's in the Way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys no one commented on it? I
What?
thought it was good. I never heard that song before.
And the Batman?
No, I never. Well, I didn't hear it until I watched the Batman.
No, I didn't know the song was in there.
Yeah, it plays it.
What song?
Like probably like 3 times, I think.
I don't notice it.
What song is it?
No, you can't play the song.
I want to play the song.
No, you
I
can't.
must
You
just bought YouTube.
You actually will destroy. Elon's like, I don't care about copyright laws anymore. Just do what you want. No, but they have like this song in there that like it's when the Batmobile's introduced, and dude, I love that song so much. It's so intimidating. It's so cool. But I recommend the Batman 100%. Okay, wait a minute. Let's talk about movie review with River.
Give me the mic. Oh yeah.
Give him mic.
Okay, movie review, Moonfall. We just watched it. Okay.
Well, wait. Me and you watched. I watched half of it.
You
watched.
watched. I watched the whole
Hunter and
thing.
Ethan did not watch
I
it.
took in the entire movie. Okay, amazing movie. It does not make sense at all. Not at all, but it doesn't need to make sense to be a good movie. Okay, Hunter, I'm trying to do a movie review here. No, you're playing
Hunter,
some.
turn the song off.
You have a video of some black woman on your phone. I can't hear.
Ethan, turn the song on.
All right, so Moonfall is pretty much about the moon and it's falling. There you go. It's in the title. The moon is falling towards the earth, and they're like, "Oh, why is that happening?" You know. So they send these people to the moon, and this alien comes out of the moon and just kills them, and they're like, "Holy shit!" There's a big hole in the moon. An alien flew out of it, killed all these people. So they're like, "Oh no, that was our last spaceship too." For some freaking reason, they're like, "All the other ones are in museums," which didn't make sense either. Why only have one spaceship? But
And then wait. They're like the Chinese volunteered our lunar. They sent their
yeah, the
lunar
Chinese
lander.
were like,
I'm
even-
like, dude, you're in Florida. How did China send it that fast? Because like in the movie, like this happens within like a couple hours. It's like
Rick,
is
the
there
world
something
was
you're not
blowing
telling
up. They
us?
need to do this instantly, okay?
Yeah, but, like it's suddenly just there on the.
But they're
on-
like,
in Florida,
okay,
ready
so
to
this
go.
alien that is like, it's a robotic alien just flew out of a hole in the moon and killed these people. It's kind of like a big ass swarm of bees, but it's robotic. Does that make sense?
Wait, so there's a bunch of small ones?
Yes, it's
Kinda.
not even small things.
Yeah,
You know, they're like, it's like black pixels just flying
It
at
looks
you
like
and
a big
murdering
thing
your
of
ass.
It's like the one thing from the live-action Ben 10 movie.
What? I don't know what the hell you're
I
talking
don't
about.
remember that.
Okay,
You don't
but
remember that movie?
I remember the movie. It was like the Race Against Time.
I don't know what it was called. I just know there was something like that.
You know, there was a song that they released with it, and then they kept playing it on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so in the
I'll have to
middle.
look
Want
up that
from me or
song.
Oh my
something.
god.
Yeah.
Let me continue the movie review. So they're like, oh shit, this alien's killing people, and it's gonna make the moon fly into the earth because of whatever it's doing in the moon.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
We should talk about the gravity waves.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that. So the moon is getting closer and closer to the earth, like
Wait.
every
We
freaking
need to
minute.
clarify. There's spoilers ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, in case you're gonna watch Moonfall.
make sure you put that in. Okay,
Take
so
it out.
the moon's getting closer and closer, and they're like, shit, we gotta kill this alien because the alien's making the moon for some reason crash into the earth to kill us all. It's just a massive damn alien. But so they're like, we have an EMP from the military we can go shock the shit out of it and blow it up. So they're like, oh, but we don't have a spaceship. They're in museums. So what did they do? The world has went to shit. It's Mad Max everywhere.
It is.
They
Like,
go and they drive to this museum. It's got find this spaceship that's covered in spray paint, and they're like, "We'll fly this bad boy
the
into
front
the
of
moon."
it, like on the nose of it, it says "F the moon" on
yeah,
the front.
that's what it says on the
It's
front.
like that's the best you could come up with. F the moon.
The moon's killing us, so we're gonna write F the moon. All right.
And then like, wait, do you remember like they were like filling up their gas tank, a bunch of gas cans in the back of this pickup truck, and these two guys are there, and they're like. One guy like walks in, he's got like a couple Twinkies, and he has like a bunch of money, and he's like, "Look what I found in the cash register." And the guy's like,
That's worthless.
he goes, "That's worthless," and he threw it, and he's like, well, "Let's get out of here." I bet that guy's kicking himself in the butt.
Because yeah, the world was okay after all.
Yeah.
But so they tow this big ass spaceship out of this museum. So somehow they get it in Florida. They're on the space thing, and they're like, okay, let's launch this bad boy straight up into the moon and kill this alien. Well, wait a minute. Shit hits the fan because the moon's getting so close to the earth that there's like gravity waves, and there's just like the ocean is flying into the air at these people. It's like
You think it was a
it's like
tsunami,
it's like a
but no.
tsunami, but it's not. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. And it's like, okay, so everybody's evacuated the place except for the people in the spaceship, and there's like these two guys that are they're like, oh, we're gonna fly away in a helicopter. They
was
turn
a
on the
tsunami.
spaceship and they start launching it straight up towards the moon. but then the Chinook kind of goes into this tsunami wave.
It drives straight
drives straight into it. It disappears. I was like, they just died, and it was just like
Meanwhile-
everybody's like, whoa.
Well, meanwhile, there's these kids trying to escape in a Humvee, and they're just sitting there, like standing outside of the Humvee while this giant wave's coming up, and they're just watching it like, yo, like watching the rocket go
It's
off.
a gravity wave, bro. Because the people, as soon as it gets close to them, the people were like hopping like they're on the moon or some shit.
Yeah,
It's
I mean
crazy.
that was kind of cool.
That wasn't cool. The two people that died in the helicopter never said anything. They hopped onto that plane and they flew into it. It was kind of
There's
horrible.
Well, it was like it was an evacuation, but everybody was gone at that point. I don't even know what it was doing there. It was just sitting there, and they jump in it, and it flies in.
So they're flying up to the moon, and they have there's 3 of them. There's this woman who's like this woman. There's the woman who's the head of NASA. There's a guy who's like an ex I don't know, astronaut, and then there's this obese dude who seems to know a lot about planets, but he's not part of NASA. I don't know what his point is. Okay, he has a bunch of theories about the planet. So they're flying up there, and then they find out that the alien only wants to kill you if you're alive and you have a computer. Like if you're just alive and you don't have a computer, it doesn't want to kill you. But if you're just if you just have a computer and there's nobody alive there, it doesn't want to kill you either. It just if you got the two together, it's like holy shit.
It's like basically it leaves normal people alone, but it kills everybody, every 4chaner.
If you're smart, I mean, if you have something with you that's electronic, you're dead. So the obese dude, of course, has his cell phone taking pictures, and the thing like flies out of the moon. Is like, oh, about to eat your ass, and the guy smashes his phone. And it's like, oh, what the hell, are you trying to kill us, man?
He's like, oh, good, you shut it off.
No phones on
So they got this EMP. Instead of blowing it up while the thing's on the thing, they're like, oh, we don't want to kill ourselves with this EMP. Let's let the alien go back into the moon, and we'll follow it in. So they're going down this tunnel into the moon, which is batshit crazy. They get to the center of the moon, and they're like, holy shit, there's a star inside of the moon, and there's like an entire world in here where like an entire alien colony in there, and there's just like all kinds of shit. It looked amazing.
You ever watch Independence Day?
They flew to the
They
moon.
basically
Hunter.
copied.
We had a spaceship, and they flew through the gravity thing.
Only spaceship died.
No, they found one in a museum.
Yeah.
No, I thought that one went into the water.
No, that was an airplane, Hunter.
Yeah, the
I mean,
Chinook.
it was the Chinook. The
Chinook.
Chinook with 2 people on it just went flump right into the gravity
The rocket
wave.
made it, but like the inside they copied almost exactly from Independence Day when they made it to the alien ship. Like it's just basically Independence Day once you're inside.
Except there's a lot of moving shit just flying around.
Yeah.
But okay, so they're looking at the guys like, holy shit, it's a white dwarf, and the obese dude says that, and then they're like, or something. They're studying. The guy's like, dang, I read all about this. This is my exact theory, and it's real. I'm gonna throw up or something. I don't freaking know. But so they're flying around, and all of a sudden, the alien is like after them again. It's like, oh shit, you have a computer and you're alive. I'm gonna kill your ass. It flies after them. They fly into this small area on the ship, and it sucks them in. And they're like, oh shit, we're and the computer in there is just like, hey, we're the same species as you, but we went extinct because of these aliens, because we made them. It was just AI we made, but it got smart and was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. So it killed us, but we built the moon so that the moon would start our entire species up again, just from like a little strand of DNA. Like the moon built the Earth is what it's telling you, okay?
Yeah.
And they're
The moon is a space station.
The moon is literally a space station that's keeping the Earth alive. There you go.
Yeah. So that's basically all the important parts. They
Yep.
kill the thing.
They kill it.
The moon returns to its spot.
It just goes back.
They fly, and then they get back down to Earth, and there's like buildings and shit in Antarctica. It seems to have went to shit on Earth. They're like, oh well, we did our part.
Okay, are you ready for my plot problems?
Okay.
Plot issue 1. It doesn't explain why the worm being in the moon is causing the moon to crash into Earth.
No,
Well,
it
you said it was
does.
a
When does it say that?
It doesn't really, but I could see how it would.
You said it's
It
a
doesn't
space
point it
station. You
out.
think it has some amount of control over it,
It should.
and if some
The worm was kind of like surrounding itself around the star, which I would think would stop making power somehow. Maybe they're using solar energy. I don't freaking know, Brooke.
Plot number 2. So it's basically set in like our world, right? And the idea is like, why? Here's the weird thing: why are there all these different religions and all this different stuff if we all came from there?
Whenever they showed they showed a clip of the original planet with people on it, and they were all there's a bunch of minorities and shit there too. So it seems.
Are you trying to say we didn't come from one place in reality?
Well, like, what I'm saying is like the people that like escaped with the moon went down to the planet, from what I understand in the movie.
No, there was nobody on the moon. That's why the alien didn't kill it. Because they were like,
nobody on the moon.
There was nobody. It was just electronics. The alien was like, "Oh shit, there's no people here. I'm not gonna murder this."
This makes sense now. Okay.
But there was DNA on it, and the moon kind of was like, "I'm gonna rotate really fast and create an Earth, or like a sphere of fire, and the sphere of fire is gonna form into a planet, and then the planet, there's gonna be like a little strand of DNA on it. It's gonna make like potatoes and all kinds of shit. There you go.
So the moon made potatoes.
The moon made potatoes and you."
The one of the best parts though, the guy like walks up and he goes, "Hey," like there's this hippie dude and he's like, "Hey, the moon's hollow and it's full of produce, right?" And then he's like, the guy looks at him like, and he's like, "What'd you say to me?" And he's like, "I'm leaving," and then he walks out and I'm like,
but then the raggedy looking guy goes, "That's how the Incans got potatoes."
Yeah, that's how the Incans got potatoes. And there's these like redneck people that keep showing up throughout the movie, and they keep holding them up. Like it's like the same people just harassing these people. Like the people in the Humvee make it to this area, and these rednecks hold them up with guns, and they're like, "Give us the Humvee." They get in the Humvee and drive away. So they walk to their relative's house, and they're like, "Listen, we need help." So they help them. And they're driving to town, and then the rednecks come out from the town. They're in the firehouse for some reason while they're getting oxygen packs. And they're like, "Give us the oxygen. You're coming with us." And then they're like, "Okay." So the guy ends up pulling a gun out and, like, robs them of, like, what they have. And then they jump in the car and drive off. Well, then they're gone for, like 5 minutes. Then the rednecks show back up with their truck and a Humvee and start, like, ramming into the thing. And it's like, dude, are you the only people who live in this town? Like,
there's
what's going on?
The world is ending, and they're concentrating on just getting oxygen tanks or something.
Yeah, this one well, it's because air is leaving.
This
the
is like they're
atmosphere.
ramming each other in the middle of one of these gravity waves. So people are flying. Shit's crazy. Their ocean is over there too, just chilling in the middle of the Rocky
Aspen.
Mountains.
They're in Aspen.
Or was it Aspen? I thought
They were in Aspen.
Oh,
I don't know, but that's where they filmed Dumb and Dumber.
I'm pretty sure there's an Aspen in Colorado.
I
Aspen.
don't know. But anyways,
I don't know if Dumb and Dumber is in Colorado.
so let's get down to the end of this review. Do you recommend it, River?
I think it was a great movie. Just it didn't make much sense.
When
I
did it
loved.
come out.
It was
know.
like this year.
Shout out to
Was it a
Walmart
straight to
for
DVD
selling us this
thing?
at a
No, it
cheap
was in
price.
theaters.
People went to see this in theater.
People went to see this in theaters. Look it up. It was. I think
Look
people
up-
wouldn't
look
watch
it
it
up
because
right
it was
now.
like they were like, "Oh, this movie's just leftist garbage," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, did you see any leftist garbage in the movie?"
I mean, maybe it's the big ass planet that's like absorbing the sun for power. Maybe that was leftist.
Yeah, go to Wikipedia.
Maybe I did see that.
Moonfall, 2022. Yeah,
What would it make money wise?
grossing 55 million worldwide.
How much did it cost?
3 times that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like,
One of the most expensive independently produced films.
It was
oh,
very good.
no.
It was very good. What's that called? Like
CGI.
editing and stuff.
CGI.
CGI. Very
Halle
good.
Berry was
Halle
in it.
Berry.
John Bradley. Okay, what was it? Yeah, go down and see if there's any like critical response. 38% of
Just
200
says B movie cheese. There's nothing about leftist.
I could have sworn they were talking about that. Like, there's something about it politically.
They said if the first film was a success, they'd make it a trilogy, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
How do you even make that?
Mars
The sun's falling. It's like the sun just goes straight into Earth.
Wait a
It's
minute.
like
The sun has a smaller sun in it that's powering it.
The moon is
They gotta
falling
fly
again, but this
into
time
it.
they're going after people without computers.
It's like the moon's going around the Earth, and then finally, like all at once, it like opens up halfway, and like it flies straight into the sun, trying to swallow the sun. It's like that's the third movie. It's like, well, you got to stop the moon from eating the sun. It's easy. Kill the giant alien worm that's swimming around in the inside of it. Well, there's like all these
There's people in the
alien-
sun. We have to save them.
Well, like that, dude. There's like 100 alien like or like human advanced warships parked in the moon. They just had
nobody's been in them for like how it was like
It was billions of years
since the beginning of the Earth like started as a speck of dust. They said this moon was full of all these warships and shit. This is just like a massive
They
computer.
were fully functional because while they're flying by in this little space probe, all the guns are firing into this AI.
Yeah, into the alien thingy.
Yeah.
It's a very epic movie. Epic.
I thought it was enjoyable. I think it should have done better than what it did though. Like I wouldn't have watched it in theaters. It's one of those movies I'll watch if it's on like TV.
This doesn't sound like a movie that I'd just watch at all.
It was a great movie.
They
You should
mentioned
watch
Elon
it.
Musk in it.
Yeah, they mentioned Elon Musk, and the guy was having trouble getting his car to go fast, and he was like, I gotta put it in sport mode. Maybe that'll help. So he pops it out of eco and puts it in sport mode. And all of a sudden he's like, very epic. It's modern problems.
Well,
like,
the best
in the
part
movie.
was like there's like he puts this like car into sport mode in like this like 1970s F100 and this military Humvee are both keeping up. What's the top speed of a U.S. Humvee?
55 miles per hour. So set at max gross weight, 70
They
miles
seem
per
to
hour
be
top
going
speed.
way more 55.
Okay, yeah, dude.
Plus,
were
they
going
were
way
in like a
past
gravity
55
wave,
miles
so
per
they were
hour.
flying.
Yeah, like this military Humvee. You're telling me it was going 70 miles per hour?
It's there's a pickup
No.
truck and then this like sport SUV, and they're all going like the same speed, ramming into each other.
Wait, it was an SUV they put in the sport.
No, it
mode.
was like a hybrid SUV.
A hybrid SUV
You
put
know what
in
I mean?
sport mode, and
One
it's
of those
like
small SUVs.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it
Maybe
looked-
that's the leftist.
It looked like a Toyota
What are you talking
RAV4. Look up Toyota RAV4 top speed.
maybe it was that.
I can't imagine Toyota RAV4s are built for speed.
If you could put it in sport mode, it's got to be able to do
I
something.
don't know, dude. They're pretty slick. I drove one before. The steering,
Yeah,
I
that's
could
what it
steer
was.
with my pinky. Yeah, it was really.
130 miles per hour. I don't believe that.
I believe it.
I believe
Toyotas are amazing.
they're savage vehicles.
Not when you actually have it loaded with stuff.
No, I wouldn't go that fast.
You have to have it like you're going out there with the intent of racing.
Dude, like, did
You're
you?
like ripping out the back seats. How fast can we get this Toyota RAV4 to go?
Well, dude, it's like that car's like you can like I'd feel like going 130 miles per hour in a RAV4. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But if you put me in like my Trans Am, it was like go 140. I'd be like, no, you're not making me do that.
It'd be shaking. That's the experience.
Dude, I would die. Like, there's no way that, like, maybe brand new, I would do that. But, like, my car right now, dude, like, you hit, like, 60 or 70, and you're like, this thing's going to kill me at any second. Like, it's just going to rip off the road and
Like
throw you
I
off.
have a 2001 Toyota, and it handles it extremely well.
River, that thing has a top speed of, like, 55 miles
I don't
per
give
hour.
a shit. It handles well.
You put it in fifth gear, and you're going, and I'm like, dang, that feels like I'm going real fast. You look, and you're going 45.
It's like whoa.
It's a truck. It's not built for speed.
Yeah, but my truck, I go, like, 80 in, and it's, like, nothing.
That's a modern truck.
Modern
guess
truck. It's
so.
built for the turnpike. Mine was built when turnpikes weren't a thing. You had like
I
the turnpike. I mean,
I'm
the
pretty sure
turnpike
the
was a thing. The turnpike speed
Turnpike
limit
killer
was,
in, like,
it was
1950s.
55. The speed limit on a turnpike here was 55 back then.
Did
So
you
it
ever hear
didn't have
about
to
the
go past
Pennsylvania
that.
Turnpike killer?
No.
There's multiple of them, but one was a sniper.
There's a lot of killers that go through there.
No, but like this guy was sniping people.
Out of like they were in moving vehicles.
I'm pretty sure they were in moving vehicles, and he was shooting
Dude,
them.
he
from
must
the
have
can
been
respect
goaded.
that.
Could you imagine shooting,
It was
sniping
like the
people?
original COD sniper. He was like,
Could you imagine this?
He's in a moving vehicle.
He
as
goes
well.
on. He goes on street 1414. Oh! I just hit that clip.
"Oh, baby, a triple."
There was a bunch of kids in that car. So many.
I'm fucking cracked.
Bloodthirsty.
I'm gonna call it a nuke or some dogs or something, man.
He's got like a UAV flying over. That's why there's all the
Oh my
signs saying
God.
highway speed enforced by aircraft. It's because there used to be like actual aircraft fly overhead, and like if somebody was speeding, like they detect it, and then they tell the cop, they'd be like, "Hey, they're speeding." Then the cop would pull them over. But like
The plane would pull, the helicopter would pull him over. Can you imagine that? Drops a giant magnet on the roof of your car. You start floating. You know why I picked you up today?
Yeah, but then you just do it just
You're
by
like
a
in midair.
helicopter. They can't call you for speeding in a helicopter.
you think about it, it's like the main purpose of the helicopter in like these police movies are just to watch you to make sure you don't get away.
Yeah.
But like it's like when they break out the helicopter, everyone's like, "Oh no, they got the helicopter." It's like, yeah, what are they gonna do? Fly around and shine a light
No,
on
in
you?
GTA, if you have 5 stars, they shoot you from the helicopter. You should know this.
Dude, I
thought it
always
was
thought
4
the National Guard
stars.
showed up.
Aren't there tanks sent out on you if you're like 5 stars for a
I
good
think
while?
so.
Yeah.
Like the whole military base deploys for this one guy who stole a car.
So what else is on the topic list?
You made me pull up my browser. Close it out. Project Veritas. I have some other stuff about Doomerfest we can get into.
We
We'll do
can-
the Doomerfest or
Let's
the
go ahead and hit
Veritas first.
Doomerfest real quick.
Doomerfest. Okay.
Yeah. I have a question.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you go again?
What? Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Did
Aside
Antifa
from all
come
the
up?
drama, anything come up?
No, did they
well-
show up at all?
What do you mean?
Like, did Antifa show up?
No, but they posted about it afterwards.
Ooh,
What'd
what'd they
they say?
say?
They were saying there's a
Thanks,
bunch
knock on
of
wood. Minnesota.
racist
You knocked
alt-right-
on wood too.
alt-right incels, and they never showed up from what I could tell. But
Wait, they called you alt-right incels and they never
Yes.
showed up.
Yes,
Why didn't they show up for the music? Like,
I wonder why.
I would have messaged them and been like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna."
Then
love
you
It was
got doxxed.
outdoors, like the neighbor kids were like coming over, because there was like there was like an apartment complex across a stream,
Mhm.
and they were like crossing the stream. to come over.
They were like, "Yo, what's going on here?"
I saw it was sponsored by like the Lions Club. There's a bunch of
Wait,
was
it was
at a-
sponsored by a Lions
No, it
Club?
was
Yes.
just at a Lions Club.
Yeah, there's a bunch
Oh.
of there's like the Lions Club sign. I was like, interesting live slug reaction.
Okay, so like, do you think that we could put together a concert?
Who the hell would play at it? How do you don't know these people?
That'd
You
be
could-
fire.
we
We could pull
Contact
together
Egg
some
White.
people.
Yeah,
Egg
a
White.
ton of people from the
Maybe
area
Egg
to
White.
come and listen for sure.
I think so.
Shooter might.
If you got the
it's
word
like
out.
explicitly Christian.
If it's explicit,
If it's explicitly Christian, Shooter might. Because what he said before is he'll come to any show that you organize for him. But nowadays, like with multiple people, like if there's a bunch of people set up to perform, I don't know about that.
yeah.
Unless everyone is explicitly Christian.
Okay,
So in that case, Egg White is probably a no.
like if she could get them with the Lions Club, we could use our Lions Club.
Well, it was funny because
I joked about that.
We could just go there and then just
Just set up.
yeah, there's one not far from
No
here.
permit.
What if we were to just show up? Okay, listen. We just
At
say a
Sheets.
Friday night Sheets parking lot. Set up the
Absolutely
concert.
raid their parking lot.
What's up, Sheets?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We did go to Sheets there in Reading. We met up with another small musician in the scene, Blue Mire Choir.
How was the food?
And it was Sheets food. It was amazing.
Was it the same thing?
Yeah, it's Sheets. It's like 3 hours away. It's in the same state, bro.
Listen, I went to like a Maryland Sheets. It was horrible.
They messed up my order though, because I did my menu hack to get a bunch of cheese bites for like 70 cents off, and they mixed in chicken and
That would be a
Macaroni.
pleasant surprise.
Wait, did you just call my menu hack your menu?
with our menu hack.
My menu hack.
Okay, so like when I was down in like me and my classmate, we went to Sheets because we were hungry. It was like we were late coming home that night, and I was like, "Let's go to Sheets." So like we pulled in, like this was like right during the riots and stuff. So there's like this completely decked out like Maryland police officer, like he's got like full tactical clothing on, like a full bulletproof vest. The only thing he didn't have was like an AR around him, like in a plate carrier, drop leg holster with like a Glock. and he was in like full green tactical, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
combat shirt and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. So like I always would get like a tuna sub sandwich, like a tuna salad. I love tuna salad. So like I got my tuna salad. It took them 20 minutes to make 2 sandwiches. It took them 20 minutes to make a tuna salad sandwich, and then it wasn't even good tuna salad. Like it was like it just tasted plain.
What's a gas? You're getting fish from a gas station.
Yeah, but like
Brooke.
the local Sheets is really
That's
good.
what I was thinking. I would not get something like that from a gas
A
station.
lot of people wouldn't.
If you're
I'm
going to
not
a
most
gas
people.
station, you get either like a very basic sandwich or something
Well,
fried.
my dad bought gas station sushi once, and then he didn't eat it, so I ate it all when he got it to the house. I ate it all, and I didn't get sick. I mean, I trust gas station sushi now. It can't be. If I ate it and didn't get sick, it can't be that bad.
I have the same knife, but pink with a skull on it.
Like, I'm the picture of health, and I ate gas station sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the way home, we ate at a Rutter's, sadly. Because, like, we went past this. Well, I was going to stop at a Sheets, but we were on a one-way street. And, like, to pull into the Sheets, we would have to go turn off and then turn onto another street just to pull into the Sheets. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Did you ever do a Wawa?
Rutter's is better,
No.
though.
No.
You don't
Rudders
like
is not
Rutter's?
better.
Rutter's
no, their
is-
French
I think
fries are
Rutter's is
horrible.
better. I had better food.
I got really sick.
Rutter's burger was better than a Sheets burger.
See, they had a really good price on this iced coffee. And so I got this like it was like a large iced coffee because we were down on vacation down towards the ocean. We were on our way home and like we had to pull into a Red Lobster and use their bathroom. So I got so sick.
Did you buy a
fancy
lobster while you were
I
there?
did not buy a lobster.
Does Rutter's have like the MTO?
Yes.
Yeah, it's set up similar, except like
Is it
the
as good?
kiosks are right at. So like the kitchen is like open. It's like the deli at like a supermarket
Yeah.
setup type of thing, and the kiosk to order is right there. So you have to go up and like make eye contact with the people while you're ordering your stuff. It's not like at Sheets where they're behind a wall.
Huh.
Also, it like the counter setup seemed very southern to me. It reminded me of like a small
Waffle House?
southern.
Waffle
No, it
Houses
just reminded me
are
of like a
good.
very small southern
been to
gas
one.
station.
Really? How?
Do you guys recommend Waffle House?
I went
never
to like
been to
a
a
Waffle
Waffle
House at
House.
like 4 a.m. It was the best experience.
We should go to a Waffle House, guys.
I
Well,
only
no,
want to go
all
to
the
a
good
Waffle
ones are
House.
down south. There is
Yeah.
one out on the turnpike somewhere out there. I ate that one once. I mean,
Waffle
it was
House
good,
seems
but
like-
like you have to go south.
Do you remember?
I was in Intercourse, PA, and I saw a Waffle House. That's a place.
Okay. Do you remember when we were down in?
Can you hold the mic a bit closer?
Do you remember when we were down?
A fist
in,
from your face, bro.
Do you remember when we were down in on our way to vacation down in the Carolinas, and we passed a Waffle House, and then I went on that giant tangent about how the U.S. government uses Waffle Houses to evaluate how. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, the Waffle House system.
Yeah, they use the Waffle House system. What's it actually called? It's like the Waffle
I
House
do
threat
not know what you're
detection
talking
system or
about.
something.
Something like that.
Well, every Waffle House
Okay.
is like back kitchen, like the up front kitchen's a false kitchen, and there's secretly like a back kitchen that's
The Waffle House Index.
Yes. So
That sounds so much more professional.
this is the idea of the Waffle House Index, right? So there's so many Waffle Houses spread out. Add that to the list. Even though
We're already talking about
I don't care. Add it to the list.
You heard me. I see it. Write down Waffle Index. Write it down now.
Okay, good. Okay, so the Waffle House Index. So that because there's so many Waffle Houses and they're just proportionately spread across the United States so well.
I don't think so.
Well, it kind of is. There's
Nah,
that many
kinda
of them.
not.
They're in like the southern coast area.
It's like
most-
Yeah,
southern,
but
some
there's-
east coast. I don't even think they go.
That's where the
west that
hurricanes
far.
are. That's why it pertains. to
Boom,
them.
already
Yeah,
disproven.
Yes,
Nope,
okay, but
disproven.
listen, that doesn't matter. So, like,
Argument
say
dismantled.
that we were at nuclear war. The U.S. government would look at all the Waffle Houses that have closed down, and by using the number of Waffle Houses that are closed down at the moment, they would evaluate how much of a threat that we are in.
What does that have to do with
Oh.
nuclear war?
Look up, click the Wikipedia.
Why would a Waffle House be closed if there's just a threat of nuclear war?
No, but I'm talking if there was nuclear war.
I think
If there was a nuclear war, they'd be dead.
No, yeah,
If
yeah.
there's-
That tells you how
Yeah.
many people are gonna die because the Waffle House.
Why are
is
they
closed.
evaluating the danger after people are
Click the
dead, bro?
Wikipedia. Click the Wikipedia.
Urgent alert.
This is
Waffle
about-
House is closed an
this is-
hour earlier than expected.
Dear God.
This is about hurricanes.
The Waffle House knows.
nothing
there's-
to
right there,
do.
right there, right there. That's done by the menu. The index has 3 levels based on the extent of operations and service.
Yeah.
Green, full menu. Yellow, limited menu. Red.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But this has nothing to do with nuclear
They don't have the grand
annihilation.
Yeah,
Slam.
but wait. It's an informal metric named after the Waffle House restaurant chain to determine the effect of a storm. Okay.
It's about hurricanes,
Yeah,
not
say
nuclear
nuclear
fallout.
storm came through.
We have limited menu.
Could you imagine that?
Radioactive dolphins ate
You like a CIA agent traveling across America stops at a Waffle House. Yeah, give me the menu. He gets the menu. Holy shit! They don't have the Grand Slam. I need to get out of here.
Denny's, but okay. Denny's. I love Denny's.
I've never been.
I
to
thought you were about to say all Waffle Houses are like a secret iron dome and they can like shoot down warheads or something.
They probably are. Are there Waffle
that's
Houses?
Denny's.
That's,
Are there Waffle Houses in Israel?
I don't know.
I highly doubt there are.
It's like we got code yellow in Israel. What do you mean? Waffle House is down. No, but like, dude,
Down to 1/4 of his menu.
it's never been that bad. Okay, but really, like, I want to see what Hurricane Katrina did to Waffle House if they had the system back then. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see, like, if it was a code red. I think it would be.
We're only serving bacon strips today. $5 a bacon strip. It,
There were people starving outside.
we don't have eggs. We don't have pancakes. Just bacon.
No, it's just everything's normal, but there's no chocolate chips in your pancakes. You're just like, dear God.
They're out of syrup.
And you walk in, everyone's eating pancakes with a dry mouth. It's like you just hear that among 50 different people.
Like, but like they're there. It's like you're there and like it looks normal. Then you like cut your fork into the waffle, stab it in your mouth, and then you're like, "There's no butter. They just put syrup on without butter."
I thought you were gonna say you cut the pancake and it just like turns into dust. Like there's no more pancake. You try to scoop it with the fork, but it goes through the holes.
That would be an interesting movie intro. Like it walks into the this like U.S. soldier, like he's like all beat up and bloody, and he's like he walks into like the Waffle House. He sits down. There's like a waffle sitting there.
Is he like abandoning his post while defending the U.S.? He walks into a Waffle House.
Picks it up and like it turns to dust, and he's like, just dies right there in the bar.
That's literally Avengers Endgame.
Is it really?
Infinity War. I don't know.
Oh, it
Everyone
turns to dust. Yeah.
That we should remember that for the movie.
Yeah. We're gonna make a movie.
Okay.
I'm serious. I want to make a movie, or at least like a
I
series.
love the idea.
Like,
There's gonna be a part. Apparently, Brooke said I'm the villain,
yeah.
and like I'm just kind of a guy doing it for the money. I'm not like evil or anything, and so when I get caught, I'm just gonna be like doing something like not a normie, like some
you're gonna
neck
be a
beard.
Discord mob.
I'm gonna like the good guys are gonna break in my evil lair, which is like a regular home or apartment. I'm gonna be
Watching Lucky
texting.
Star again.
I'm gonna be texting Kitten on Discord, and it's gonna be the Apu like turning around in his chair. Like,
I got this all planned out. We just need to film it.
You're not messaging the kitten on Discord. You are the kitten on Discord.
Yeah, Kitten was a spy that was tracking your location the whole time.
that's actually a good idea. If we get a woman into it, we recruit a woman to go in as a spy
That's really
to
damn
be
hard.
his kitten. Turns out I collected all your secret plans through your Discord log.
It wouldn't be that hard to get a female actor. We go and we find a prostitute. We'd be like, here, you're an actor for this. Bam.
It's like, here's $100. Please come with us. But like, I want it to be. I don't know if I want it to be like a real funny movie or if I want it to be serious.
Make it so serious that's funny.
We could do that. Like, you guys never watched Airplane, did you?
No.
You have to watch it.
Which what?
Airplane. You watched it, River.
I don't remember.
It's like everybody's so serious in it, but everything's so stupid about it that it's funny.
Yeah.
Then they made a sequel, and it's the same movie as the first, but it's in space.
It's in space. Snakes on a plane, but in space.
That's basically it. Like, imagine we could make a bunch of these movies and just make it in different areas, and it would be funny.
Yeah. How about a retelling of the gospel, but it's in space? We'll call it Jesus in Space.
Jesus in space. He's like on the
Jesus-
space station.
No.
He's like,
No, just put it. He lives among us.
oh my! Wait,
He is
we
among
turned
us.
Moonfall into the into Jesus' story. So it's like he goes up there, and like the EMP is a cross on the moon.
What if there's like a Jesus for aliens and we do a movie like that?
Jesus for aliens.
Jesus, really? That's pretty good.
Remember how like in Cars, there was a Pope?
Yeah.
That means that there was a Hitler and a Jesus car.
Huh.
Yeah, in Despicable Me, they said they always serve the most despicable person throughout history. So who did they serve between 1930 and 1945?
Well, they used Napoleon.
Winston Churchill.
It's like, I know Napoleon wasn't the greatest person, but like I don't think he was the most.
Oh yeah, they
despicable
did
person.
have. Yeah, Napoleon wasn't that bad. In fact, if anything, he was the most revolutionary person for overthrowing monarchies in Europe at the
Yeah, he
time.
did.
They should have been on Britain's side. Isn't there? Yeah, you just remind me of that. Isn't there a scene where the minions are fighting for Napoleon or something
Yeah, yeah.
in Russia? I think it was because it
Like-
was like winter or something.
Yeah, it was the Winter War. Is that the Winter War?
No,
that,
the Winter War was
no,
Finland and the
what
Soviets.
was that one then?
Oh, it was just it was just when France like
Invaded Russia.
marched
Russia got
a
invaded a
straight
lot,
line
yeah.
all the way to Moscow, and they get to Moscow and no one's there, and they're just like, well, we came all this way and it's cold and we're gonna probably lose a lot of people out here. Let's go ahead and start walking back home.
What would you
I did
do?
a-
It's like, wait, nobody's inhabited this area.
I'm pretty sure like a lot of people left the city just to kind of throw them off or something. Apparently, if I remember right, it was like really run down.
Imagine, okay, so imagine like you get your entire army to to invade this country, and while they're all gone, like you're with them, and like you're not getting any like news on what's going on back home. So you're like, okay, everything's settled, everything's good, and you go back, and then like a whole country's like using your infrastructure, and they like invaded, and they're like there now, and they're like,
Oh, yeah,
that's where you went.
That's how it would have been. Yeah, I don't know if they were very close to France at the time.
It's like Russia invaded Ukraine back
Yeah.
then.
Napoleon was in 7 wars or coalitions. I think they're interchangeable terms. I had to do a presentation on him recently.
See, we didn't learn too much about Napoleon in class. I don't
Did you
really
hear
care
his
about
name?
non-American. What?
Did they like talk about him? Like
Napoleon
at all?
Bonaparte?
Like at least bring his name up?
Yeah, they talked about him a little bit, but they didn't talk
Okay.
about him much. We
See, it's a great his like return to France and everything's great.
we watched Forrest Gump in history class.
I did too, but I missed a day.
You missed the day.
I missed like the first day of it showing, so I started it from like the halfway
Well, they
point.
stopped it right after the Vietnam part, and I'm like, dude, I wanted to see the part where he's running. I just kept the running. Okay, Elon Musk, Twitter.
We already
We
did
kinda
that.
touched on this.
Yeah, but
What's
we
the
hardly
Veritas
did.
thing?
Oh, I think we did for.
Yeah, that's the Veritas thing. Wait, you didn't know?
You didn't? No, I didn't look into it.
Okay, so this is the most. It pertains to Twitter and Elon Musk. So Project Veritas got a recording of the board meeting. Like you know that meeting they went.
Yeah.
It addressed all kinds of different stuff during it. Like everybody's freaking out, and they're like, it was like there's a moderator for the company. It's hard to explain. No, it was like instead of like CEO, it was like CEM or something like that. I don't remember the actual term, but
Yeah.
basically, like all the questions that the employees were having were being sent to her to ask the board. So she was asking the questions that the people were asking. They were asking stuff like, "What are we gonna do if Trump gets put back in?" And that kind of stuff. But the one question they released afterward as well was, do we even shadow ban people? And Twitter responded to the email, and it was like, yes, we do. So it was like, okay. So
Yeah,
this
they
stuff is
admitted
real.
to it. I think it was pretty obvious they did it before.
Yeah,
I thought there was evidence of that
Yeah,
before.
but like there was, I don't think they ever admitted to it.
They never
blatantly.
blatantly came out and said
But this
it.
is so blatant, you can't ignore it. Yeah. What else you guys want to talk about?
Have we I think we've exhausted our list.
There has to be something else we can discuss, though. How long are we in?
You've been going almost 2 hours.
An hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, my
We get to
bad.
go a little longer.
I thought I
What'd
got
you say?
here earlier. Oh yeah, cats eating otters.
CEO.
Yeah, that's what I asked River what the CEO stood for, and he's just like cats eat otters. I'm like, oh yeah, I couldn't think of anything better. So
Well, I saw a river otter this week. It was massive.
wait, go back. What does CEO stand for?
Let's
Something executive officer. I believe.
let's all make
Chairman executive
everybody come
officer.
up with one.
And then we'll look it up.
We'll look it up and see who's the most wrong. Right. I think it's
I'm
company, executive, official.
I was thinking official, but the C.
No, don't look it up. We're making. Listen, Ethan is about to look it up.
We're gonna look it up.
You just
Don't
took
look it
the
up yet, River.
You
River,
just
don't
took
look it up yet.
Brooke. You took the best one. That's
What?
like the one I was gonna say.
Certified or company, executive, office.
I was thinking official, not officer. You said officer earlier,
I said officer.
or
Yeah,
you
maybe
said
it's office,
officer.
like-
Well, let you get. What do you guys think?
Okay.
We said it. Go ahead and read it.
Chief Executive Officer.
Okay.
Oh, it is officer.
Hmm.
Then.
I was thinking, yeah, chief makes more sense. I was thinking chairman. Their office is called
I,
chairman.
I knew that.
Why
I,
didn't-
I did know that. I couldn't remember.
I don't think he did.
No, I
just being
definitely. I've
honest.
heard that. Like, I've heard that before. I just didn't remember it at all. You know what SBC stands for?
Short barreled.
Wait, SCP?
Colander.
Carbine. You could have said carbine.
Not
Would you-
colander makes more sense.
What's a carbine? Is it like a bean? Like that
Well,
shaped
some
like
people
car-
say carbine. Some people say
Carbine.
carbine.
Is it like a bean? Is a bean? You
No,
put
it's a
it-
gun.
So it's a gun that shoots beans.
Oh, did you see that?
What
That
does it have to do with beans?
okay. What's this about Tim Pool thinking that Glock 17 only holds 17 rounds?
Oh yeah, let me get my Glock 17. So this is a 17-round magazine. I believe I only have 16 rounds in it. As you can see, it's a gun.
It's empty.
But yeah, it's called the 17 because it was the 17th patent by the company. Their first patent was like a blind holder or something. Like
18
blind
is full
holder.
auto though, right?
yeah, 18 is the full auto version. 19 is the compact version of
Wait,
the
what's
17
Glock 1?
basically. I just said that it's like a blind holder. Because they made just plastic stuff and especially Tupperware before.
So the Glock 1 was a blind holder.
Yes, it was not
I feel
firearm
like
related at all.
I feel like people aren't like, I got the Glock one. I feel like they're just like, I got the Glock.
So wait, what is the earliest Glock model?
Gun the 17,
The 17 was the first gun they made.
as far as I know.
There
Wow.
was no Glock.
How did they
one.
become?
Want me to look it up?
It's like so perfection, you know.
It doesn't have a mechanical safety. I don't like
Okay,
that about
so
it.
and Mad Max, I don't like that either. That's why I'm looking at CZ. I'm thinking like I'm gonna get CZ. Is it PO9?
That's one of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Or
of PO9.
CZ75. Someone
75 or PO9.
I think it might have been on K. I saw a rant about how it may have been the CZ75 is like the pinnacle of handgun. It'll never be surpassed.
Yeah, they say it's one of the Wonder Nines.
Yeah.
I would do that, or I'd get like a Beretta M9 or like the
I don't like Berettas. I don't like their
F92
grips.
or F82, F92.
1911s are like the most comfortable
they're
guns to
really
me.
comfortable.
But Glocks, I don't know. I like the slides. I like
That's the thing with the 1911. Like you can get like a 9mm and get 10 rounds. You get a 45, or you could buy the 10 millimeter 1911, which would be incredible. But they'll hold very limited amounts of ammo. You know.
bring it closer.
They all hold very limited amounts of ammo. So I'd like to have, I mean, if I was going to get like an everyday carry gun, I'd like for it to hold around like, I'd say more than 13 rounds. You know what I mean?
I think 15 is like, this should be the standard number.
Mm-hmm.
But 17 is nice to have.
Yeah.
Honestly, for concealed carry, you'd want something smaller than a Glock 17. Especially, well, I mean, like a bigger guy like your size could probably carry a 17, no problem, concealed.
Mm-hmm.
But a small guy like me, I should have a...
Like a,
What's
So,
in your
small
pocket?
one.
What's in your pocket? No,
What
no,
is in your
no,
pocket?
I see something in your pocket. Anyway,
it's a Glock 17.
I wanted to bring this up the other week. I was in the bathroom at school, not using the bathroom because you don't use the bathroom when you ask to go to the bathroom.
Dude, why are you pissing in the vape
I
room?
got an email.
Dude, what are you doing in the
We've-
snuff deal room?
I'm talking.
Wait, do people still keep their snuff in their cowboy boots?
That sounds like something from your age. I'd never heard of
Oh,
that.
dude.
Yeah, they did that in my class.
Yeah, everybody wore big cowboy boots because they'd keep their snuff in there.
It's a-
Nobody was smart enough to realize they were snuff
oh, they
boots.
didn't say it. They got it, but I got the email anyway when I was there. We've received your ancestry DNA sample.
Wait, did you request this?
Your results, yes,
He paid
I did
for it.
this.
Oh, you paid for it.
Your
Let's hear it.
results should be available online in 6 to 8 weeks. This was like yesterday.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna have
So
to do a
6
reveal.
to 7 weeks from now.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's online, so they won't send me anything in the mail. They'll give me a code, and I
What
type
do
in
you
the
think
code.
your ancestry is, or what do you know of it so far?
So far, all of it is German from both sides, from what I've been told. Now, on my mom's side, there's an Irish branch off, I guess, which would be my grandma, and then there's apparently Native American on her parents or something. I don't. It wouldn't be a lot, but I'm curious to see what I get.
Did I tell you guys that we found out that I actually have 3 relatives that were all killed by trains?
No.
I thought it was 2.
No, I
Yeah, I
found
thought
out
it was
there's a
two. You
third.
said it was-
Another one.
When?
Just
Yeah.
Pappy told
They
me.
just keep popping up.
No,
You
there,
said
so
the
there,
same
was,
one.
there was one on my dad's side, and I think she was drunk and deaf.
Yeah.
Then the train hit her. There was one on my pap's side.
They walked the train tracks back to the house.
Yeah, that's how they
The
like.
bar.
I guess at night and stuff, it makes sense. You'd follow
Yeah.
the train tracks. You can like step on them and know where you're at.
Went through the yard of the house because they were using it for iron ore.
Yeah, but then on my pap's side, he was just drunk, passed out on the rail, and got ran over. And then I don't know about the other one. He just got hit by the train.
On the Pap side, well, he was like, he
They were all
survived-
drunk, I'm
He lived
pretty
through the
sure.
Civil War, and he was like, "Dang, I got shot. I even survived the Civil War." So he was like, "It would take a freaking." He said he used to joke it would take a locomotive to kill him. And then one night he was like, he got really drunk, and he's riding his horse. I think it was in a town, and him and his horse both got hit on the tracks. He said. It's like a Red Dead Redemption 2 moment. It's like.
Have you seen those really funny Red Dead mods? Like, it makes me want to get the game on PC where you can get a train that's going like 150 miles per hour and you can like zoom past villages, like lasso someone and they'll go fly. They'll be like flying in the air on the back of the train.
I remember when I got Red Dead, there's this one mission you have to like run after this like old gunslinger on a train. And I had my horse there, and I just I rode up to the train station, and I don't know about you guys, but on my first playthrough, I'd never tie my horse up. I'd just jump off and run onto the train because it was one.
I do the same thing.
I jumped off, ran up onto the train, and ran after the guy. And all at once, I got this you heard a neigh from outside of the train when it started to move, and then you go. Then I just saw my saddle on the map go by, and I'm like, what? So I jumped off, and there my horse was gone. I don't know where he went, but my saddle was laying there, and I'm like, I think he died.
You got attached to the train and it just kept going.
That's probably what happened.
That was a really good game.
Oh, dude, that was an amazing game. How about this? What is your favorite game that you've ever played? What is a game that you were the most invested in?
Most
That's a good one.
invested in? I don't know. My largest playtime, however to phrase that, is Grand Theft Auto 5. I have 650 hours just on Xbox One.
I got
So
you
there'd be
beat.
more from PC and
Not on
Xbox
GTA though.
360.
TF2.
Yes, but I do want to say I've played Minecraft for years since like elementary school on multiple different accounts and platforms and like so it probably Minecraft maybe beats it, but I have 1,100 hours in TF2.
Pop Tropica.
Pop Tropica.
No, I would say Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably it's the game that I felt most invested in. Like there were times I was playing it and I forgot I was playing a game. Like I thought I was Arthur Morgan. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was very immersive.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way about Grand Theft Auto 5 until I 100%ed it, and then I realized there's not much left to
There
do.
were times you felt like was it Franklin?
yeah.
I feel the same way with Hearts of Iron 4. Sometimes I just feel like Hitler.
Yeah.
No, I've only had that game for not even a year, maybe about a year here soon. I already have close to 300 hours in it.
There were times I was playing Civilization and I thought I was Gandhi.
I just got into. You just got me into War Thunder like a few months ago, and I'm up to over 160 hours in it.
Dang.
What tank are you up to? Did you move to Soviet?
Yeah, I moved to Soviet so that I can do the Katyusha bit.
Oh,
I knew it.
Is that the only reason?
Among others.
Well, there's no
No,
other reason to do
the-
any other tanks, so.
Well, the T-34s are like cool. They're fast. They have the Christie suspensions. Pretty much any tank with Christie suspensions is going to be fast in that game.
Yeah, but okay. So the T-34 in War Thunder isn't accurate because in reality the T-34 couldn't get past third gear.
Yeah.
So it would have
But
like
they
a
don't
top
account for
60
that. That's
miles
the
per
thing.
hour.
Video games don't account for that kind of stuff.
No, they don't.
So
but
theoretically, the T-34 is much better than it
this
actually
is
was
like
in service.
Apex T-34.
Yeah,
The Russians
exactly.
actually cared, and it sucks because the Sherman was actually pretty Apex for the design.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, this is as good as it gets.
But I was a German main before that. I got up to the Tiger 1, and then, because like, whenever you get to the Tiger 1, there's a massive jump. Like the lowest thing below that is like a 3.7, or no, it's a
Yeah.
4. But then the Tiger is a 5.3.
Mm-hmm.
So if you play a game in the Tiger and you lose that, you're immediately screwed for the rest of that match
Yeah.
because now you're at an immediate disadvantage. So that's why I stopped playing German.
Well, I disagree. The Panzer IVs, like with the 75 millimeter gun, they can do it. They can do good damage and stuff.
Not against the heavy tanks up at that
Well, like,
battle ranking.
that against like Panthers, I can take them
Against
on.
Panthers, they can take them on. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you have to. That's the thing. So when a lot of people start the game, they just play German tanks, and what that does is the Germans always have a decent gun, pretty much
Yeah.
throughout the game. So when you get to that battle rating, you're done because you can't do anything. But like if you played if you started with the American tanks, you're outclassed, gun wise every
Yeah.
tier. The only tank that really excels is the M18 Hellcat, and if you play realistic, I mean, you're fighting Tiger 2s in that thing. So like, you always have to know exactly where to aim on each tank. So there's like such a skill running American tanks and being successful. Then you get the jumbo with the 75 millimeter gun, and like a lot of tanks you can't even kill with it. But you just, dude, I've gone 10-0 in a jumbo just because other tanks don't know where to shoot. Like with a Tiger, you point and aim and shoot at the tank.
Yeah.
The jumbo, if you know where you're hitting on each tank, you can take them all out easy. Like I know how to take out a Tiger 1 with the jumbo's 75 millimeter gun, easy. Now the Tiger E is a little more difficult. You have to always aim for the barrel first to take out its gun. Because the thing about the jumbo is it'll take you out through the machine gun
Mhm.
port in it. I love playing American tanks, so.
Yeah, the thing about the T-34s is, so me being the cool guy that I am, I put Z's on all my T-34s. I put them right to if you're looking at it from the front, right to the right of the driver's port. So what I didn't realize at the time is that I'm basically giving them a target of where to aim to hit my ammo rack. So people just have to aim for that Z, and it goes right through into the ammo rack if I'm not angled.
Dude, I unlocked the gas canister add-on, and I was trying to cover up my machine gun port. It's I just have all these gas canisters around the machine gun port, trying to camouflage it as best as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought of something cool to talk
you
about.
think
I
of?
forgot it.
Well, you better remember it pretty quick here.
Think too hard. It's not gonna come back.
But yeah, I switched to Soviet so that I could sing Katyusha whenever we're in Discord calls.
So, like, what song can you sing with American tanks?
When the caissons go rolling
Yeah.
along.
That
That's
when Johnny comes marching home, a lot of stuff like that.
What's another one?
I'd play Dixie first.
Dixie, yeah.
Well, I guess there wasn't really
why don't
ever
they
an
have
Irish
Confederate submarines in?
Yeah, there should be a Confederate submarine. It was
In
the
this
first
World War II
submarine.
game.
No, that's wrong.
Huh?
The first submarine was used in the Revolutionary War.
Oh dang, it was even farther
Submarine
back.
was Revolutionary War.
It was a water-sealed wooden thing, and all it did was it
Thing.
went underwater, swam like against one of the British boats, and then it released a bag full of dynamite, and then they lit it, and then they drove it away, and then it blew up the ship, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what just happened?"
Isn't that the same thing they used in? Are you sure you don't have it confused?
No, look up Revolutionary War submarine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Revolutionary War too. Because the Confederates had ones that like didn't get used very often.
It was-
The Confederates used them, but both times they blew themselves up as soon as they blew up this ship.
Yeah, like listen, these things were not. Yeah, the
Yeah,
turtle.
the turtle.
It hardly looks like a submarine. It looks like a
Is there a picture?
yeah.
There's a little
Or, like,
diagram.
a actual.
There is an actual picture of it if you look. Yeah, right there.
Oh wait, I guess they didn't have pictures.
Like, that thing was made during the Revolutionary War times. Isn't that
I was
crazy?
thinking they had a picture from the time. I was like, when was the first camera made?
Yeah, they did. Well, like this thing was only capable
Dude, that
of
looks
going
like Sam Hyde.
Whoa, is it?
No, it just looks like.
Oh, that would have been funny.
This is just a barrel.
Pretty
Pretty
much.
much, yeah.
That, I
And the
don't know if
barrel's
that
full of explosives
classifies.
inside it.
Does that classify as a submarine?
Well,
How
it
does
goes
it really go
underwater.
anywhere?
It looks like it has a little propeller on the back.
Yeah, go back. There's a.
You gotta, like, pedal it.
Is
that
it? Yeah, I was
image,
gonna say, is
uh,
this guy like
system.
in there peddling this thing with a bag of dynamite in his hand? And how
Yeah.
does he put the dynamite on the thing without water just coming in?
The
and-
barrel's full of dynamite.
Oh,
You keep another barrel with you, and then you release it, and it lights when you release
Yeah,
it.
there's another barrel on the side there you can see. Unless that's just for buoyancy.
Your main-
there.
Goal is to just keep moving.
it's like living in a pokeball.
That would suck. Do you ever think about what's inside of a Pokeball?
It's like
Ethan, look that up.
I always thought it was like a land. It would go to a different dimension where they could just live.
I got
Grayson, stop talking.
I had a so there Pokemon. What happens inside of a Pokeball? I like to subscribe to the theory that have you guys ever watched? Have you guys ever watched Event Horizon?
Oh, it says right here it's very comfortable inside a Pokeball.
Oh, I was gonna say like
Thank you, random
in
3D
Event
black
Horizon,
woman.
they're basically on a spaceship that teleports to hell. I like to believe that that's what the Pokeball does.
Like a TARDIS from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It just smothers you in comfiness so much that you can't leave. It just, like, sounds traumatizing.
It's like
Sounds
awesome, and then you're out of it for a second, and you're like, "Hey, beat the
It's
shit
like,
out
they
of
put
this
you in a
guy."
limbo, It's just like injecting you with so much freaking lethal drugs. You're
Dopamine.
Like, oh, yeah.
What if they just forget you and lose the Pokeball? You're in there the
Like
rest of
you
your
drop
life.
it in the water and it like floats away.
What
Like,
if
oh
you
no!
What if you like broke it with a hammer? Would like blood spew out of it?
Well, like
Or-
that's the thing. Would it like would it like eject the Pokemon or would it like? They open up when they go off though. That's a weird thing.
They don't open when they like suck them back in.
No.
I could just see someone in, like a ransom situation. He has a Pokeball. He's like,
Did you
"I'm gonna
see-
shoot it."
I remember when I was real young watching one of the
If you gotta talk
movies
into a microphone. You can't just say
where.
that off in the distance. Hunter, let him talk about what he just said.
Okay.
What? Okay.
I'm
All right.
holding
Anyway,
the Pokeball hostage.
the old Pokeballs, they would like unscrew them. I remember watching a movie, like Ash time traveled somehow, and this kid just comes up to him and is like, "Yeah, I caught this Pokemon." He pulls out this metal heavy like lead sphere. It's like, "Just give me a second." And he starts unscrewing the thing, and then when he pulls the cap off, a Charmander comes out of it.
It's like thank God.
So they've been.
Like, unscrews it.
If you threw that at a Pokemon, you would like give it a concussion.
That's why it stays in. Actually, that would be
Stays
more
in.
effective. You knock the thing out and then it like gets caught in. It's not fighting.
Then you have a half retarded like Mewtwo.
You only got one Master Ball in Pokemon, and I wasted it. I remember I was like, yo, I got one, and I threw it at the first thing I saw, and then Garatina shows up, and I'm like, oh no. So I had to like beat the crap out of that thing and just spam dark Pokeballs.
That's probably one of my favorites as a kid. That weird worm devil thing.
Giratina.
Yeah, Giratina. And then it would like transform into like a ghost type or something. I don't
It
remember
had
how it
legs
works.
sometimes.
No,
but
no.
Sometimes it did.
Yeah, it had like little points. No, I was
Shut up.
in.
Why does he have legs sometimes?
I never
What?
understood that.
Giratina has legs
you
sometimes.
Well, I thought he always has legs, and I thought it's rarely he doesn't have legs.
No, sometimes he has legs, sometimes he doesn't.
I think he looks more natural with legs. But anyway, in chemistry class today, the girl beside me just started playing Pokemon
I go on
Go.
images to see it.
Carson was playing it too.
There he is
Carson
with
plays
legs.
it a lot. Yeah, what's up with
It
that?
says that's the altered form.
Yeah, but what's altered?
Oh, so legs isn't like original?
No, it says origin formy,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a worm with.
But why does he
wings.
do it?
Yeah, why is he? I know for a fact that I caught Garatina without legs.
Yeah, my Giratinas have legs.
What's going on?
I got a paraplegic.
Well, what's going on there? Are there shiny Garatinas?
Of course.
There's
They're like
no
they're
way.
like blue and gray. I've seen them. Like not,
No way.
not in the
He's
game.
a
but-
there's only one of him.
no,
It
there
doesn't even make sense.
there are shiny legendaries.
Are you serious?
Type in shiny Garatina. Is that Reddit? Why do they spell form like that?
I don't know.
There you go, bro.
Pokemon is such a cool game. I only ever there was one time.
Oh, that was
Remember
Pokemon
it
Go.
was in Pokemon Black.
Yeah.
It was your game, but I was playing it, and then I caught this shiny. It was the fire dude. He had like fire eyebrows. I don't remember his name.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, but it was a shiny one, and I was like, "Wow, oh my god!" But it was like it was the stupidest thing because it was just a darker shade of red. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you noticed.
Yeah. It was
Usually
pink.
red, and this one was pink, and I was like, damn.
Like there was one, like the bat with the real big mouth and small eyes.
I don't.
Everyone knows that.
You
I
have
never
to know
played
that one.
Pokemon. I played Dinosaur
I was
King.
pretty. Yeah, I liked a lot of Dinosaur King, but since I didn't really have that available to me, and it wasn't a big market here, it was mostly Pokemon. After they stopped airing on TV, at least.
Dude, I never was into the TV shows, but like growing up, like everyone's like, "What's your favorite Pokemon?" I'm like, I didn't have the games.
I
I'm
would
like,
watch the
I don't
TV
know.
shows if they were on, but like I didn't really pay attention.
Dude,
I
I
didn't have
couldn't-
the games or anything.
My grandma made me hate anime and everything like that. She was like, "You shouldn't be watching that," because like there were shows like Naruto.
Every time it would come on, she'd be like, "Those people were so ugly."
Yeah, she'd be.
Yeah, like
she.
Ed, Ed,
I
and
remember
Eddie,
that she criticized. I
Greg-
could draw 'em better than that. I remember we would
Billy
watch
and
like
Mandy.
me and River would watch YouTube poops at
Oh
her
my
house,
gosh.
and I think you were there a few times. But
Yeah,
then
but,
Lake
like-
Lake would of course be in the background. We have to kind of push him out of the way because you can't watch that. And at the time we probably couldn't be watching that. But what she would do, she
The
would
bad
watch.
ones.
She would watch from the background, but like she would watch from the background and think it was the most awful thing, but then we'd switch spots and then she'd follow us. Like we'd move the dining room table, she'd be sitting in like the hall. It's hard to explain the house
Understandable.
layout.
When you
but
look back on remember like early YouTube? How
I
messed
loved
up that
early
stuff
YouTube.
was?
There's some
No,
freaky
I
stuff on
didn't-
there though for that. I was in like kindergarten when I watched it.
Oh, dude, like there were so many messed
That-
up
that's
things.
I'm
stuff-
kind of
that
glad
stuff
we didn't
changed
have a computer
me.
or anything until I was like
No.
That's
in
for the
middle
best.
school.
Dude, honestly, like modern YouTube is all like if you type something in, it's like CNN. Like,
Oh,
if I
yeah,
wanted
it's
to look
awful.
up like moon news, like there would be videos about the hollow moon. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
space stations up there, pyramids in Antarctica. You'd find like hundreds of these documentaries. Now you look it up and it's like no,
It's like
it
trash.
doesn't exist.
It's
sucks.
trash. I know. When I started using 4chan, I don't use 4chan a lot, but when I like started really using it, it was like giving me flashbacks to all these weird websites I would click on because they all had that 4chan format, that kind of old-esque to them.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and I'd
Like a
I'd-
forum.
I'd get on websites like that, but even like your browser games.
Just like the
Where it
old
looked like
blocky
that.
appearance where it's not streamlined.
Yeah,
like
nothing's even. It's all on one side of the screen. Weird stuff like that. That's why I kind of like using 4chan sometimes. Because it's nostalgic. I give the mic to River for a
I think
while.
the
Since
internet's
fresh.
just very bad nowadays. Honestly, it's so
Yeah.
boring.
Even to places like BitChute, you're getting a very weird bag of stuff. Like I go into BitChute just looking for interesting stuff, and there's a lot of neo-Nazi stuff.
Hmm. If anything, that would make it better.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I watch it.
Did you watch or do you guys ever oh wait, what was I gonna? Did you guys ever hear about the oh, I can't remember the name of the theory, but it's like that the internet's empty.
That it's all bots.
Everything, like
Yeah.
almost like 90% of the internet is bots at this point, and like most people aren't on the internet. Like
That'd be
everybody's on
cool.
social media. Well, no, it's not cool because that means every interaction you have almost is a bot. You know what I mean?
So I can just tell people to kill themselves and the bot will just like stop scripting. Kidding isn't real. I know. Oh, shit! I forgot what I was gonna say again.
No, but like,
Oh yeah.
because like people think that the internet
I'll wait
feels
for you
more
to be
empty
done.
now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
But supposedly there's more people on the internet than ever.
It's just people are herded more into the.
That's what they
Solid
say, but I
spaces.
don't know. Look it up. I want to see the actual name of it.
The theory? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's like it's a theory, empty internet theory or dead internet theory. Yeah, there it is.
It was a good spot though.
Wait. What's the title say? Maybe
Maybe
you
you
missed.
missed it.
Oh, I thought it said maybe you missed it, but you died years ago.
No,
I'm
but
like,
the internet died
Oh,
5 years
wait,
ago.
wait. Ethan
Why
said on his
5 years
computer all of
ago?
a sudden, wake up.
yeah.
5 years ago, this might say something about the election.
What?
Oh, 5 years ago, 2016 is like a very specific year to choose.
For this article.
No, it came out last year. It says 5 years ago. That's 2016.
Oh,
Oh, 2016 seemed like, I've said this many times, seemed like a banger year for 4chan with all the
Yeah.
election stuff. I wish I was on it, but even then I probably would have been too young to conceive
it
what.
all been so cringe.
Yeah.
Things are getting exciting now.
I
You know
hope
what
they
I mean?
stay that way.
I haven't been checking poll a lot recently. I hope is there.
That's
anything
all I
on?
use anymore.
I don't know. Go on poll and see what's up.
Okay.
See what the first thing is.
It's
we'll discuss
mainly
the first thing that comes up on poll.
it's mainly
That'll be the last
Twitter.
topic.
It's mainly Elon Twitter stuff.
Yeah.
At least that's what it was yesterday.
We're gonna play poll roulette.
Pollette.
Can't see.
President Trump general.
We
We're
can't
gonna
do
skip
that. Those things.
I
suck.
see a
Why
bunch
are
of
Europeans so
Trump-
gay?
I don't know what to do. Okay,
What's
next
with
one.
this guy? Alex Jones. The borders were already open back then. How is that a prediction?
Predicts open borders, cashless society, and intentional release of
Yeah.
probably I don't know, criminals.
Yeah, the borders were already fairly open back then whenever, because this is like 90s, early 2000s, I'm guessing this video.
They weren't
from how he
that
looks.
open. I mean, were they?
Relatively.
What's the?
That's
we'll skip-
Austria, or no, Australia.
We want some American.
I'm sick of this. This is just a rant. Are there scouts in your country?
Okay.
Why does canceling student debt upset you? Here's why canceling student debt upsets you. I am working my ass off at minimum wage to get through college without any debt.
Mm.
Okay? It's just a matter of working,
Yeah.
living a very minimalist lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
relatively. I mean, I have 4 monitors, but
Minimalist.
Minimalist.
I mean,
your idea of minimalist
this one
concerns
was like found in. That was a $10 monitor.
I was gonna say the
This one
graphics
I just
on
found
that one
somewhere.
is
It's
very,
a little dark.
Yeah,
relatively
relatively minimalist. The point is, you can get through it, and yeah, don't
But
go to
I
one of
have
those
to
big liberal colleges.
I have to spend $8 on my coffee in the morning every day, though.
This is what
What
I'm
do you
curious
mean?
about, though, when it comes to this canceling student debt. It's like, so you're going to make every taxpayer pay for somebody else's decision to go into debt. Some
Yeah.
people went and risked their lives in the military for them to get funding to go to school.
Yeah,
And now you're going to make them pay for your education that you willingly signed that onto. Okay? Now let's take a second and think, okay, well, maybe they were, pulled into it. They didn't know what they were signing up for. Okay, so if we say that, it's like, okay, so the government comes in and says, okay, that was some crony business from the bank for giving out these loans to people they knew couldn't pay it back under stakes that they knew would hurt the person.
I think you think we're gonna hit something similar to the housing market crash of 2008.
I can guarantee it. Actually, my dad looked at me the other day. He's like, if you want something, I'd buy it now.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. They want us to go and say, oh, well, it was the bank's fault, for this. And the banks weren't right for giving out these loans with these interest rates, See, the problem isn't the loan itself. It's that the interest rate, when they're not paying it back, causes the amount they have to pay to go, like a ridiculous amount.
Well, it's because we have this whole culture of, we'll just take out the loans. That's the normal thing to do. Just take out this loan that'll take you the rest of your life to pay off. Like, no, what you need to do is save up. You need to save up the money. Don't spend money that you don't have. That's why I don't like this whole credit system.
Yes.
And I have to have a credit card, because you have to build up credit to buy anything nowadays.
See,
But that's not how I operate.
I don't own a
I
credit
work
card.
to get the money beforehand
Yes.
and spend the money that I have. That's how my brain operates.
Dude,
That's how your brain should operate.
So I'm thinking about buying a rental property, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I could take out a loan, but I'm like, I thought about it, and I'm like, why would I do that? I might as well put the money in, get the money saved up to buy the property, and then get income off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because the inflation, your money will actively become worth less as you save it longer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's planned. It's planned obsolescence of currency at this point.
Yeah. But, going back to the thing, I'm in favor of us, like the government, instead of just saying, we're going to buy this, saying, listen, these interest rates are completely out of whack right now. We're going to put
The
a pause
government
on
is probably
interest
to blame
rates.
for that.
Well, like they could go and say, we're going to put a pause on interest rates for student loans. So you pay back what you owe, and once you pay back what you owe, you're done. You don't have to pay it back. Because there's this giant crisis, and
There's this giant crisis
so
because
much
the
money
government
off of it.
subsidized all these colleges.
Yes.
Okay, and this affirmative action that pushed. This might sound a bit offensive, but you're pushing people that are not qualified for these classes into these classes in the name of solving racism and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's exacerbating the problem.
Dude.
Because they have to take out more loans. The whole point is that they're coming from low income families that they can't afford this stuff, so they have to take out more loans. You're putting those people more in debt. You are actively targeting these people that you're claiming to try to help.
Yes.
The government is actively targeting black communities.
Somebody
and people
said,
like
well,
these.
there's so many of this. They said there's so many African Americans right now that have, degrees in college that don't have homes. They're homeless.
Yeah.
And it's like, you listen to that and you're like, okay, but there's a disconnect right here. Is it?
I don't think it's about race. I think
It's not
they're
about
just
race.
targeting all of us in general, but
it's
it is
like-
affecting those people.
what they're doing is a lot of people, like with affirmative action, they're pushing like certain minorities and certain people through college, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about how smart they are. It's not about how skilled they are. It's not about how much they want to push themselves to get the degree. It's not about how hard they'll work for the degree. And I'm not saying, and take my words, I'm not saying that these people aren't. I'm saying what it's doing is it's keeping people that are hardworking, smart, and talented from getting these scholarships, financial aid to get through college. It's taking that away from people that really want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's taking away from more people.
It's like they're actively actually discriminating against Asian people due to this.
Asians and whites. Asian and white men are the two most discriminated against groups. Asian men academically and white men socially.
Yes. I'll agree to that. It's like, and then like what gets me is like they say, well, like, they say white men lead culture and stuff. They're the dominant culture, but like if you go and watch on television, everything's berating white men.
Yeah.
It's like there's a very successful Snapchat thing that's called Dear White People. And it's like, imagine if I put Dear any other group of people on a thing and then just constantly ragged on them.
Yeah, maybe you could get away with it with Asians, but like
Dear
black
Asians.
people. If you would say dear black people or dear
Yeah.
Muslims, even though that's not a fair generalization, you know what I'm trying to say.
Dude,
Middle Easterns.
I was on Facebook, and like there was this like Facebook page, and they were like, Christians are evil, vile people, and I'm like, I like commented, and I'm like, listen, I don't like you guys generalizing an entire group of people in this negative light. You know, it's like not all Christians are bad people, and they were like, no, they are. That's like, you guys are preaching tolerance. You're preaching tolerance, acceptance, and all this other stuff, and then you're saying to the people that their religion's based on that, no, you are bad people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they probably never even read the Bible. You know, well, a
Or
lot
if
of
they
people
did,
haven't.
they read it explicitly to find things to poke holes in.
Yeah, the entire reason they'd read it is not to read it and evaluate what it's saying. It's to read it and evaluate what can we use in this to twist
What
words.
is it not saying, as in what is it leaving out? Or how can it be twisted?
Yeah, how can we turn this into our narrative? And it's sad that that's the way things are now, but like it's like you're accepted in every single way. It's like you can be accepted in every single way, but if you're this way, you're not accepted. It's like you listen to that and it's like it's still people oppressing other people.
Yeah, I think it's trying to conform people into the whole New World Order thing. Because if you look at diagrams, they're like how race is going to disappear as race mixing becomes more prevalent. And the whole thing is that people become more like mid-brown, sort of Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Not Hispanic as in ethnicity, but as in like, you know, the skin color, I mean.
The
That will
features.
drift towards that as in like, well, I mean, you already see it like the typical Zoomer look, the jokingly racially ambiguous with the perm and all that. That's what they're pushing towards.
I never understood the perm. Because like I know a lot of guys that get perms.
The Zoomer perm?
Yeah,
The Zoomer perm.
It's just natural. Like, I wake up in the morning and I have a Zoomer perm.
So you pomade your hair slicked back.
Well, I just wake up with the Zoomer perm. It's just like, it's curly. And then I'm like, I can't look like this in public. I'll
No.
get like stoned to death on the sidewalk. So I just like, I put a bunch of grease in it and I slick it back. And then I got to deal with everybody at school touching my hair and going, ooh, your hair's not hard, but it's just like, it's got stuff in it.
See, when I was
Oh
in
my God.
preschool, I used to wear a coonskin cap every day, and all the girls would chase me around, and they'd want to pet the coonskin cap.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you wore that to school?
Yeah, I wore it all the time, dude.
It sounds kinky.
Let me
Remember when I was in preschool?
pet your coon.
No, like they'd chase me and try to like take the hat, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And it's funny because when like in school, like you know, you get bullied by these people, right? And then,
yeah.
but you get bullied by these people, and then it ends up that the people that were bullying you for like how many years, they're like now the ones being like, you know,
Overly friendly. They're
no,
the ones.
They're not being overly friendly, but they're trying to. It's almost like they know that they were wrong those years, so now they're trying to get a one up by being woke. You get what I mean?
What I saw is that
I know what you mean.
you would see a lot of people that would be like the typical overachievers,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily academically overachievers, but like they do a bunch of extracurriculars. They'd go out of their way to go into their community, which is a good thing. But I don't know, something about it seems off. Maybe I'm overly
speak to you
cautious about people.
But like when they'd speak to you, they'd be mean to you.
Yeah.
I had that problem with some people, but then there was other people that really strived. I remember in baseball, we'd be there doing like our sprints and stuff, and there were people not like me because I was always the first one done with running. It's
Mhm.
because I pushed myself because I wanted to play. It's like I never got it handed to me. Like nobody ever was like here. Like I tried my best fielding.
Yeah, there were definitely favorites in like
There were definitely
sports.
favorites, and it's like that happens though, and it's like I pushed as hard as I could. And like basketball, I did the same thing. You know, like the coach is like, I would be there, and when somebody caught the ball, and people would make fun of me for this, but it worked. You run up into their face, get low, and you start yelling ball. You know, so I'd run up onto them, and I'd be like, ball, 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 like right in their face, yelling it in their
Yeah.
face. Dude, 9 times out of 10, they'd fumble the ball. You know what I mean? Like, they'd be there, and they'd be like throwing it, and I'd deflect it. Or they'd get it, and they'd be dribbling it, and then they'd knock it off and out of bounds. And it would be a turnover. And it worked, but, like, then they didn't play me. And I don't know why. It's like, we need better defenders, so I'd be the best defender I could possibly be. And nobody would play. And that's like, I don't know how, like, you can't really fix that through any which rule or anything. Like, it's going to happen relentlessly. People have favorites, but it's sad that, like, I think a lot of people that would be good with sports and stuff, they get discouraged because I'm not saying I was good at it, but, like, a lot of people are like, it's like, what's the point in even playing if I'm just going to sit on the bench? You know? I remember I'd get put on doing the scorebooks in baseball. It's like, that's depressing. I was a 9th grader, and these guys were 7th graders playing over me.
Yeah, I sort of had that mentality that stuff would happen, so I never really joined team sports other than track, but even then you're more off on your own, doing your own thing.
Yeah. No, I like track.
I was doing track and cross country, that sort of stuff.
See, I love baseball. When I was, like, in middle school, I wanted to be on the Pirates, I remember, but I was never, like, that good. I remember in, like, elementary school, I couldn't catch the ball, and I was scared of it. I was always scared I'd get hit, and I did get hit a lot, but
You got hit a lot?
yeah, I did.
Okay.
If you guys could be born any year, what year would you choose?
What year was Hitler born?
1887, I think.
Okay, that's my answer.
I think. Look it
I
up.
think.
1887?
I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to look it up.
If I could pick a year, I'd either... Well, hell, if you're around that time, you might get drafted or something.
That was one thought. No, I'm thinking probably right around that sets me up perfectly to fight the British in the Revolutionary War.
In 1887?
What?
No, he's
No, I'm changing my answer. The first one was a
Yeah.
joke.
Oh, okay.
I would
I was
say-
like, what?
I know what I would do. I'd want to be born.
You
I would
can't...
say like 1968 to 1972, somewhere in there. That way, I get all the cool. I get to grow up in the 80s.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you get to grow up in the 80s. You get all the good Vietnam surplus stuff. And then you,
Holy shit, Vietnam surplus just dropped.
like just fresh stuff. It'd be like, yo,
You get the
I
housing
can smell
crisis
the
right in your
orange
middle
agent
age.
on it
you can,
still.
dude, if I know, like, do you know what you know now when you're
No,
born there?
you're just asking if you're going to be
No,
born.
you're
Oh, you're just
born
born
that
there.
year.
If I knew what was going
mean,
on,
You would
I'd-
exploit the housing crisis.
Dude, I would exploit the housing crisis. I would go and buy all my stock into Apple. Dude, I would do everything I could.
I'd probably
Yeah.
choose like 90s. No, maybe like
Dude, I was born in 2000.
90s to 2000. No,
So you wouldn't
90s.
really change
no,
much?
2000s
Didn't
is.
change anything.
Well, you know what? What made me think about this is I want like a room sometime. We don't have any more available rooms where you walk in the room and everything except yourself in that room is like pre 2006.
Oh, that'd be weird.
That'd be cool though. Like, have you ever walked in someone's room where they moved out to go to college and then after college
Yeah.
they never came back, and so the room
So
like
you-
has stayed frozen from
Wait
the
a minute.
90s?
Are you describing like
but
the-
wait, but
He's
wait.
describing my room.
No,
I haven't changed my room since I've been like 5.
No, I'm talking like
That's
a little
like
older
late
though.
2000s.
Your room's all
mid to
right
late
for like the
2000s.
age, but
Dude, I haven't changed it since I was like actually.
That's why I mentioned
River
the
got
Lego
born
alarm
and
clock.
I moved up there, and I haven't changed anything since then.
it doesn't have a lot of the S stuff though. I'm talking like this room when you walk in. It's not like a kid's room or anything,
Oh,
but like there's like a box computer, like Windows.
Yeah,
what
you're describing
what
like
Windows was out in like 2006? Like what version?
Vista, maybe?
Like Vista, Windows, and like
Vista.
everything on that
Hasta la
computer.
vista.
There's nothing that's like nothing in that room, nothing on that computer that's like after 2006 or something like that.
You're describing like the
I feel like that S and like using that computer would be awesome.
like the I'll just use the Doomer remix as an example, or like the Doomer mashup or Doomer compilations on YouTube, where they'll have like a Wojak in the background, and it'll have like a very aesthetic 90s looking room
Yeah.
with all that. You're just describing that. That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
kind of.
And
But
it has
this
to
is
be
something
like
I can walk into in my
I'm
house.
picturing like the Midwest, like boxy Midwest houses, and you're in like the top, very triangular room.
With like
Oh
this
yeah,
circle.
my
Window.
my mom's house she grew up in, it was like that. I walked in my youngest aunt's room who graduated from me like high school maybe in the early 2000s, and like it was there's a disco ball in the middle of the room. Like, it was so weird and odd. I think they moved everything out of there now.
Can I change your mind in one sentence?
Oh, they did. I know they did, actually. I was there. What's that?
Remember the assault weapons ban?
Of 86.
Yeah.
I mean, the gun
I could
control
still buy
started
guns.
long before.
Could you
that.
stop that? Would you stop it?
How would I stop that? Go and I'd go after Bill
The
Clinton and be
social-
like, stop.
The social foundations, or
Ban
if-
this, motherfucker.
if that's the right way to say it, if the foundations for gun control,
Walk in the
From
White
a-
House.
Be like the movie They Live, and it's like, I came here, kick ass and chew bubble gum.
the philosophical foundations for gun control, or if that's even how you want to define it, those started long before. I'd say those really started to take hold after the Civil War, because people were like, we need to give the federal government so much power to prevent another uprising. And that's why I fly Confederate
Feds.
battle flags, because I'm against the federal government.
Dude, that honestly, but you take that stance anywhere, be like, listen, I'm in favor of a Confederate system where states.
I'm not
have
in favor
lot
of a
power.
Confederate system.
You don't feel like more localized government is the answer to the
I think that
problem?
no government is the answer.
But then here's the problem. Do you believe in corporations?
No.
I was saying, I
You
said
believe
civil-
it's
Corporations only exist because the government gave them the power to do that. The government gave them protections.
What about landlords that become
How would
owners of
I-
the land?
Does that mean
Yeah,
you're a
like-
Confederate?
Like a large landlord in the area that owns all
you
the
a
land.
racist?
You know, like that's what happened in like Europe.
Land ownership
There's basically
only-
the king. You know,
Land ownership only happened in that to that degree because there was a government to recognize that ownership. Okay? In the anarchist, if you'd even want to call it that, view, it's like if you can defend what you have, then it's yours.
I disagree with that though. It's like, so say that there's this farm, right? With these like, this young man's taking care of his mom and she's like elderly at this point. It's like his dad died, and it's like now, like, say that something happens to the young man. It's like somebody comes in and takes everything, and then like, the old lady can't defend herself. It's like,
Damn,
she
must
still-
suck.
It's
Yeah.
like she still deserves the right to her land, though. That's her property. That's I look a lot. I like John Locke's view, where we all have the right to life, liberty, and property, and the
I
government
think you have
should
the
be
right
there.
to
Life, liberty,
defend
and the
what you
pursuit
have
of
as your
happiness.
property.
Not
yeah,
property.
But no, it was originally life, liberty, and property, but the U.S. founders decided to change it to the pursuit of happiness.
Oh, in the first words of the.
I
whatever.
believe John Locke, though. I mean, I think both is very good, but I think
pursuit of
property
happiness is so
very
vague.
important.
Property is more defined.
Yes.
You know what? My main concern is if, like, let's say, I don't know, the U.S. is anarchist. Well, now you got like maybe like Russia, for example. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just walk in there, take it over.
Yeah.
They don't got a military. They're not united.
See, I don't believe in the preservation of society. Within our
Well,
current
It
system,
would
I'm
be
more
different
libertarian.
if every
I
other.
align with
I
Brooke.
don't believe in society.
No,
as
I
Heath
don't.
Ledger's poster is in the
Yeah.
background looking.
No, but like within our current system, I agree with Brooke with the sort of libertarian view. But if you'd want to go for my pure beliefs, I don't think we should preserve society at all.
But
I
you'd
think
have
we
to
should burn
you'd
it
have to
all.
change like outside factors out of the U.S. Right?
It's like
You'd let it collapse in on you.
basically the cartel.
Oh,
would
then
exist.
you'd be controlled by like Chinese. Chinese would be like, you're a slave now.
Well,
Yeah.
the cartel.
Make
it would be more of
plastic
like a cartel.
Disney toys for 5 cents an hour.
You know, yeah. No, but basically what would happen is if we went full on anarchist, basically it would be a bunch of little cartels all around.
Yeah.
Get what I mean? And they would pretty much run everything.
Yeah, I was gonna
Exactly.
say that little governments would form.
Endless cycle.
It's an endless cycle. More and more governments building up until they collapse.
Because there will always be a power vacuum. And
Yeah.
like you can say like there's always going to be somebody that goes, I need protection. Somebody that comes up and goes, I can be this protection if you pay me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my viewpoint.
So I think we should stop trusting even a small government. I think we should actively try to destroy any government as it tries to form.
Wait, you just agreed with me.
Yes.
This is kind of communist.
No, communism is inherently, we need as much government as possible. We need to enforce the status quo. Anarcho-communism,
No, that's not socialist. That's
There's still gay people in anarchist
anarcho-socialism. I
society,
can't-
though.
When people
Anarcho-
say that,
no.
I'm like, what? It doesn't even make sense. It's like I'm gonna live, I'm gonna do what I want, It's just the government's going to send me this check, and I'm going to buy the government's stuff back.
Yeah.
But you better not step on my
It's
lawn.
like, yeah, and then they're like, in Appalachia, there's this giant socialist movement, and I'm like, you realize that years ago, what
That's
happened
because of
was
the
the coal companies, right?
Yeah.
There were company stores that you'd have to use company money to buy from, and it was this endless cycle of debt. And I'm like, you realize that's exactly what you're asking the government to do, only on a federalized scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds like we have now.
It's because the corporations and the government are all the same.
They're in their back pockets.
No, they're the same thing.
No, they're in each other's back pockets.
They're gay. Is what
They're
he said.
gay.
Imagine like a dude with both of his hands in the other dude's back pockets, and the other dude's
Yeah.
the same way.
Well, this
That's them.
this brings us back to
Why do
the
they have to be
original. The
guys?
original question was, why are Europeans so gay? This brought us clear back to it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There's the answer.
Because governments inherently enforce homosexuality.
We should have a debate on this. Who do we have that would be an interesting bring on? Because we can discuss different like viewpoints, like whether it be like pure anarchism or minarchism in my case, and then we need somebody to do like a more of not a left wing, but more of like a authoritarian. Are you
Hunter.
Hunter? Are you really authoritarian though?
Not that. Not that much. As much as the political compass shows you, it's like the questions aren't very good.
No.
What about Noah?
Noah.
No, I don't know.
Noah was about my area just 'cause he's the whole.
See, here's the thing
But
about
listen, he's like Christian, super Christian, so of course he's gonna be like,
Noah's
no,
Wait, we're talking about two different Noahs.
no one should be gay.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a different Noah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Different one.
other Noah. Yeah. I don't know. Like maybe.
No, but even according to the political compass, like left libertarianism is a complete oxymoron. Because as you go left, that means government has more economic power. Like vertical axis is social power.
Yes.
Left and right is economic power. So you're saying, oh, we want the government to have all this economic power, but no social power. Like we want to have all the social
we
power we
hate
have.
big
That's
corporations.
implying, yeah. That's implying like
Buys an iPhone.
I want to be able to do whatever I want, except I can't do what I want with my money. That's implying that economic choices are not like personal choices.
Buys large corporate products, removes labels. I'm anti-corporate, guys.
That's what I'm saying. Left and right have been so
It's-
like the definitions aren't consistent anymore.
See, I consider myself kind of, I mean, in the aspect a little bit I'm not extremely far right when it comes to like government.
In the
'Cause I'm
American
like,
sense,
we need some government to protect these rights, or else somebody else will come and tread on them. It's like we need I'm a don't tread on me libertarian, but at the same time I'm a don't tread on me.
I'm a more of a don't.
It's like, don't tread on me at all.
I'm more of
Hunter's
a
more of a I'll tread on you.
them. Yeah, I have a flag that has a fascist symbol, the fascist
The fascist rattlesnake, and then there's
the
the
fascist
Antifa boot stepping on it.
No,
and it's
no,
like
there's that
I will
one.
tread.
There's a fascist axe with the sticks, and then there's like a
Yeah.
snake going up on it. It's like cool colors, and it says "tread on them."
I did see that. Did you see the one where
I
it
probably
was like, it was
Showed
an
you it.
Antifa boot?
yeah, it
like
was
the
I'll tread
communist-
where I please.
There's
Or
one-
No, that was the Badger. There was
No,
a
no,
Badger
no,
one.
no.
This is I'll
This
tread where
one's
I
like a
please.
boot coming down.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of snakes under it, and they're stepping on a bunch of like minarchists,
Yeah.
and caps, that kind of stuff. And, like you see that, and it's like, are you people actually like pro freedom, or are you just?
No, they don't even.
You don't agree? I'm gonna hang you off a plane.
Freedom to them just means they can be
Pinochet
gay.
reference, however you say his name.
That's all it means to them.
It's like,
You
listen,
know, Pinochet was
you can
pretty
have
cool,
that.
guys. He was like authoritarian, but if you were a socialist or commie, you got thrown off a helicopter.
Yeah, I believe we should throw communists out of privately owned helicopters.
They probably were privately owned because
Did
I
I
think
tell
he
you-
was against like
Did I
socialism.
tell you my pap used to put hand grenades in mason jars and then drop them off of helicopters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did it do different?
You take the pin out, take the like the caulking device. I don't remember what it's
The
called.
spoon.
yeah.
Take the spoon off too.
Oh,
Put them
wait.
in the mason jar. Shut it real quick, and the pressure would keep it from it, so it wouldn't explode. Yeah. then you'd be flying.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you drop it at the helicopter.
Oh, that's sick.
and
I
time it
didn't. I
right.
thought you meant you'd wedge it in there so the pin or the handle was like
Dude, he cooked sea rations with
C4.
C4. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me they would just do that a lot to just scare the newer crews. They would scare the shit out of them. They just light it right in front of them.
Wouldn't explode. It just catch on fire. Yeah.
That's how it exploded.
I think you needed
You
like
are pretty smart, Hunter.
you had to run like a current through it to explode it, right?
I'd be there running around chasing some guy with like a car battery.
Yeah.
What if you like?
Catch.
What if you like pretended you're really suicidal the whole time, freaked the new guy out, just like I don't want to be in this jungle, man. I'm gonna do it one of these days with this C4, and then all of a sudden, like you wake him, you wake him
Yeah.
up in the middle of the night in your tent. You decide to bunk with him. And you're just like, I can't take it anymore, man. You light this piece of C4 on fire right in front of him. He like shits himself.
Like the scene from Full Metal Jacket, only instead of he like when the guy
That was a
goes
good movie.
AWOL on the toilet,
Yeah.
except he's there with a lighter, or like he's there with like a lighter and C4, and be like, I'm gonna do it.
Funny movie.
Claymores.
Yeah.
We've been going
Is that
for a
what
while.
Yeah, we
How
better
long
wrap
have we
this
been
up,
going for?
guys.
Hang
Make
on.
sure to
I got something. To circle
Like
back
and
to the
subscribe.
racism, there was a guy with an Azov Battalion armband at Doomerfest.
what?
An Azov Battalion
The
armband.
Nazi battalion in Ukraine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. I didn't know that was in Ukraine.
What?
No,
Where
I
else
didn't
would it
realize
be?
that was in Ukraine.
You didn't realize Azov was in Ukraine?
Well, you went to
No,
Ukraine,
I didn't know
Ethan?
that. I didn't,
Yeah, I went to Ukraine.
You think I follow Ukraine stuff? No, I follow like Vietnam stuff. I'm like, I don't care about Ukraine.
Follows Vietnamese politics to this day.
Holy shit, child labor. Hell yeah.
No,
Look
it's
at
like,
that
I
kid. Look at him make that.
don't- No, but it's like at
Keep on,
first
Jake.
I was like, yeah, I better keep up to date on this stuff. But now it's like, I don't really care. I mean, I care about like that YouTuber that went
It's
missing
dying
over there.
down.
Did you hear about that guy?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that there was like a YouTuber that was documenting all this stuff over in Ukraine, and he said, "If you don't hear from me, I'm dead." And then we haven't heard from him since.
Well, I guess he's dead.
So he's dead.
Apparently, there was some Ukrainian like food reviewer who tried the meat of a dead Russian soldier.
Wait,
No,
like, he
it was-
ate the dead
It
Russian
was
soldier?
on poll.
Wait,
was on poll.
wait. You have to clarify. Do you mean like he found meat in on the?
poll for it.
Wait,
Type
wait.
type in like human flesh or something.
Oh,
on
so he
poll.
ate the
Yes,
soldier.
there
He
was like
didn't
a-
eat the
oh, no.
meat that was sitting on
No,
top of the soldier.
No, like a piece of the soldier's limb or something.
No, I thought you were meaning
that
like he
it? This
walked
is a
up and there was like
current
a bag
thread.
of jerky in his pocket.
Get in
Yeah,
here.
that's
alone.
that's not the one I saw, but yeah, that's like the one he. It's the same thing.
Dude, that is a femur.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ukraine
Ukraine.
ate a dead soldier. Wait, what's that picture?
This guy's a Russian. He's Russian.
Yeah, but he spoke Russian. I heard just for the views, apparently, because it's
No,
a
the
larger
poster is
audience.
Russian, I'm saying.
He's
Oh.
probably like this. My gosh. Like imagine that.
That's not the guy. Okay.
Well,
where were we on
anyways,
from
that's
here?
absolutely horrible that people are going into cannibalism. over
Well,
this.
I mean, yeah, just literally just for views. Like he didn't need to eat that.
I would do it.
guys, let's try Cajun this time.
Dude, that'd be like traumatizing. I couldn't live with myself if I ate someone.
Dude, the CNN actively employs a cannibal. Okay, how about this? Are you still a cannibal if you stop being a cannibal, or will you always be a cannibal?
I think the cannibal term sticks different than vegan, and
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like
So-
vegan. It's like I was once a vegan. It's like, well, you're still a vegan.
no, once you're a
Yeah.
cannibal, you can't go back.
It's like you build 3 bridges. They don't call you a bridge builder. You build. You know where I'm going with that?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
a man a fish and he ate the rod for 3 days or whatever.
What?
You give a man a fish and he eats, and if you teach a man how to fish,
eat a
he can
fish.
fish.
Every day, and nobody calls you a fish eater. You eat a turd one time.
Yeah.
Everyone. I like that. If I cook one meal, I'm not a chef, but if I have sex with one guy, I'm gay.
Well, no, but like the YouTuber went missing over there after he was like releasing documents on the Ukrainian government, like doing all this messed up stuff over there. And basically, the idea is the Ukrainians killed him because a bunch of the media companies were saying that like he was pro-Russian and they were smearing him. But the dude ended up being a pickup artist. He just went to Ukraine.
What is that
What do you
thing
mean?
doing?
I don't know how else to
I'm just
explain
playing
it.
with this.
He went to Ukraine,
For the
so he was a pickup artist for the YouTube channel. It was successful, and he's like, "I'm going to Ukraine to see what's going on." So he goes to Ukraine. Then he's like, "There's these major government scandals."
Wait, so
and then
he
he
went
gets
to
killed.
Ukraine. Not even related to him being a pickup artist. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go see what's going on."
No, it was. He was like, "Yeah, I'm going over to see what this war's all about and see what's going on that they're not telling us."
Okay.
And then he dies. Like the government killed him almost undoubtedly. Like if you look him up on the internet, I can't find anything on about him. Like I looked up YouTuber missing Ukraine, nothing.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty big story, you know. He's like he was from Argentina, and then he moved to the U.S.
He's
and
an
now
RG.
Did you see the pictures of like the Ukrainian women taking up arms against the Russians, and it was like pictures, selfies that they posted, and then a picture of them dead in a ditch.
Dude, did you see like the Redditors that like went over to fight, and then they like
Oh my
accidentally
God.
like posted their location?
Yeah, and they got bombed.
Oh my god, dude! It's like you were going to an active war zone, and you're like, just go NASA. It's basically me putting on this plate carrier and then running to Ukraine. Bad things are
Running across the Atlantic.
No, wait. What's the thing we talked about that one time? Oh, wait, that wasn't in the podcast. Never mind. Ren talked about how if you played a song correctly, what's his name? Like Wolfgang would rise from the dead in Europe and walk under the Atlantic Ocean to kill you. I was thinking we talked about that here, but we didn't.
No.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. Tim Pool, please let us on Timcast. That
we
is
can
all.
we can debate Tim. That'll be our debate piece.
Dude, honestly, I would find it very interesting because you'd be like pro-anarchism and I'd be like small government, and we'd both be attacking Tim at the same time, and he'd be like,
wait, what's he like?
he's kind of both,
Oh,
but like since we both be attacking him, he'd be like, I don't know what to do, and then Ian would probably just be like,
I want to meet Ian at some point in my life. I need to meet Ian.
Dude, I feel like becoming a member of Timcast just so we can go to like one of their events and talk to him, because like they have like members only events.
Yeah.
I'd
And
love
they're-
to go down
Again,
there.
they're in the area.
They are, and
He
it's
was
like,
hanging out in Altoona.
dude,
they're that close?
I want
Yeah,
to
he's
go.
They live there.
I want to
No,
go.
no, he
Oh.
was.
I'm gonna email them. I swear I'm gonna email them
I'm
and be like,
assuming he's,
hey,
like,
can we go
less
on the
than an hour
podcast?
away.
We'd like to grow our stretch and be, become successful podcasters, but we can't. Actually, he's looking for a podcast right now to put on his show.
Is
Like in with his show. Do you think he would be interested in the Picklebear podcast?
It's got a good. Hey, I wonder what they're about.
It's like
Picklebear. What is
Picklebear,
that?
Picklebear. It's like what was
Yeah.
what was
a
the
weird
name?
name.
It was like an anime show, and then it's like alt-right pipeline or something.
K-On?
I can't remember.
That's what
it
my
was.
Twitter feed is. It's
a
racist
It's an
K-On
all right
people.
pipeline. All right.
No, it's like it was like there's the memes where it was like it's a pipeline to the alt-right. Didn't you ever see those?
Yeah, I've seen
It was like Jordan Peterson was a. It was a pipeline.
Yeah.
They always use pipeline. I don't understand why it's a pipeline. No.
because it leads deeper.
Like Mario.
Well, it comes up still. It's like the pipeline just doesn't go down.
It hasn't come up yet. We're still in the leftist stage.
Yeah, you get what I mean, though.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
get what you
pipeline, it has to come back up out of the ground, or else it's pointless.
Where are we going from here? Are we ending it? Or
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
ending.
we're trying to
Okay,
end
listen. Okay, guys, go ahead and subscribe and like this video, and make sure to share it with your friends if you like it. Just do not show your parents.
on YouTube and Rumble. No, show it to everyone.
Yeah.
Show it to everyone. Start a political
Oh,
argument.
yeah.
Show,
Pull this up at the
Yeah.
family dinner.
Political
listen,
tension.
I will. If you want on the show,
This video and then
if you want
deny
on
the
the show-
Holocaust.
if you want on the show to debate us, come on, come at us. Like
Yeah,
contact
come on
us.
Come on. Yeah.
Do we have a contact email?
Yeah, I forget what it is.
Are you serious? We actually have one.
I made another email account for these accounts, so we can just use that.
Okay, go
we
ahead.
have the Instagram account too.
Go ahead and message the Picklebear Instagram account, and we will debate you, and I will destroy you with facts and
Are
logic.
you talking to Tim right now?
I'm talking
Or are you
to
just saying in
Tim.
general?
I'm pacing around a room right now. It's like, yeah, Sam Hyde may want Joe Rogan on. I want Tim Pool on.
We'll debate Sam Hyde too.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't want to do that. Have you seen him attack iDubbbz?
Yeah.
I doubt he's gonna get up and just start fighting you in the middle. Actually, you know what? I would not be surprised if he starts fighting
I
you.
want to see Sam Hyde
versus.
versus Lollyfeet 1488.
Imagine we're in your bedroom and like doing this podcast,
Sam Hyde walks in.
and Sam Hyde's there, and he just starts beating the crap out of me, like right in your bedroom.
He like starts grunting like like autistically as he goes.
I would wear the armor just in case, but that would probably make him want to beat me up more.
Yeah.
Probably you're enticing him.
Oh, go ahead, guys. Share this video if you like it, and make sure to listen to our pickle clips. Is that what we call them?
Yeah.
Pickle
Picklebear
clips.
clips, something like that.
Picklebear clips. They're little shorts that we have made out of. Did you still have that one about the rattlesnakes in Europe?
Pickles in little shorts. Don't you guys
If
want
you
to see
send it
it?
to me, I have it.
Yeah, I
Short
definitely
shorts.
sent it. Go ahead and upload that soon.
What?
Okay, guys, we're gonna go on then. Any last messages, Mr. River?
Dumbass said go on. Dumbass. That's it. That's my last message.
Thank you.
Any other comments, Ethan?
Dunka Sean.
Okay, guys, have a good one then. Hey.